Boom.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello, Simpson Virtues.
God fucking damn it.
We're back, bitches. Welcome back to Krown's magical Redemption. Also, shout out to For Us. We love you.
Well. It's good to be back, baby. Good to be back in the old fucking seat right now, as we got plenty to prepare for on this week. Unfortunately, we weren't together on a live stream when Bitcoin was actually technically making new all-time highs, but you know what? It's a very special day nonetheless, as I sit for my damn footrest over here. My fucking boomer ass needs something like that. And yeah, man, it was a fun week in Dubai. Met a lot of people, met a lot of people, frauds included, but all sorts of crypto YouTubers as well. A lot of cool people, actually. So major shout outs to them. It was a good time, and I got plenty of stories for that. Anyways, with that said, I would like to wish you the best, and the happiest once again. And if you're new here from Elliot Trade's channel, oh baby, should have warned you. Should have fucking warned you. We operate this channel on 100x maximum speed to the fucking moon and beyond. And with that in mind, I do welcome you here. You're more than welcome here, obviously, but please do understand we have a little bit of a different vibe, which is all good. We are very welcoming, but and also you have to deal with Elsa's wig and fake laughs, as some people have speculated on, which I can definitely assure you she is very much a robot in disguise, like a fucking transformer over here. Anyways, what do we see on the Krown chat application, which by the way can be found for free at app.crunchy.net. See a lot of things on the top end dashboard. Yet again, Bitcoin dominance taking a step down over the weekend, which typically do kind of expect in Bitcoin general bull runs, as we do see altcoins kind of take the reins for a little bit, and then once the real week starts, typically see Bitcoin once again push its way back up into the very into what it's about to do this week. It looks like, actually, fear and greed index took a few points off, but we did see a bigger drop down from basically last Friday to today, about an 85 read all the way down to a 73. Still greedy, obviously, but we're not seeing like extreme greed when Bitcoin is, I mean, for all intents and purposes, pretty much around the prior all-time high in this case. So I do think that does deserve a bit of merit. Now, I look at the top 10 best coins. How is SHIB not there? Oh, it is there. It's up 14% yet again. Should probably do a video on that one. That one's actually rather interesting right now. In fact, we'll get to that maybe a little bit later. But Thorchain, Graph, Phantom, Near Protocol, Curve, DAO, Harmony, Doggy Coin, KuCoin, Mina, all on the winners list right there, having some nice gains in the last 24 hours. But into the market data tab we go. I want to follow up on the global leverage ratio and the global open interest levels as well. And this is incredible to me right here. The global leverage ratio is suggesting that we are going to see a phenomenally nasty pump or dump in this case, because we are at quite literal I think the highest. Oh, no, sorry. There's actually one point. There's one point in history where we actually have had a higher global leverage ratio than where we're at right now. That would be your November pullback from last year. Now, these two scenarios actually very similar, in fact, between November of last year and kind of where we're at right now, where Bitcoin is grinding up around the prior all-time high or at the prior all-time high. In this case, in November, that was obviously right below 20,000 bucks. I'm going to turn off the alerts for right now. I do appreciate that, but we'll get into that soon enough. And in this one over here, obviously we're just a few $1,000 off of the $6,000-$7,000 all-time high as well. But both of these were resolved to the upside. So what do I put the most weight on? In this case, obviously trend. And to be fair, Bitcoin, to kind of ground this whole analysis out, Bitcoin can still dump to $55,000 and still look very, very good on pretty much all higher term timeframes. And we still have not seen a daily higher low just yet. Could it be in the making right here at about $59,000 to $60,000? Possibly, yes. But we should, keep an open mind with this. Anyways, open interest is actually coming down a little bit. So with that in mind, that does imply that spot positions are actually underweighing leverage positions in this case, because we see open interest coming down, but the leverage ratio is, typically technically going up, and like not just going up, it's like fucking zooming up. Now, global funding rates are at around 0.0236, not anything too consequential. That obviously still be more on the bullish side, and again, actually very similar to what we saw back on over here in November of last year as well. Now, even that was slightly higher than what we see right now, and again, that was resolved to the upside after about a month long of consolidation, or at least a few weeks. Now, you also notice over here on the global exchanges, Bitcoin Reserve, we see just a phenomenal drop off on this. In fact, the lowest that we have as a recording since we started harvesting this data. And you can see over here on the exchanges net flows, there was literally about almost 60,000 Bitcoins taken off exchanges from yesterday to today. So what are they doing with those Bitcoins? They're trading them on MetaMask, right? No. Well, maybe. I mean, it's definitely possible, but the sort of interpretation of that is that, probably going to be hodling that. So it would be more on the bullish side. On top of that, we do see that the global liquidations, both long and short, we really haven't seen anything anything here, so to speak, just yet. So this leverage ratio is leading up towards a major Washington event. I would say that we're going to see the results of this either today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. I strongly believe that now. Now really is the time, as we've been following on this for like the past month or so. This is really the time where, okay, I felt, okay, in the next 3 days, maybe as many as 5 days, I would be looking for the actual effect of this. And in this case, you know, it still could come to the upside. And kind of looking at things right now, I mean, you know, it would be such an easy call to the downside if the funny rates were like, you know, at around 0.05 or especially 0.1%. But right now, we just don't see that, unfortunately. So that does still align with the BULAs, very, you know, potentially taking this one a lot higher from here. So I'm going to go to the charts right now and follow up on yesterday's short-term time frame analysis, of which yesterday I was actually wrong. No, I was wrong on yesterday's analysis short-term, as I was looking for a break below about 60,500 or so, looking for a move down all the way to 59,000 bucks. We didn't quite get that. It looks like Bitcoin did put in a bit of a low at 59.4 in the overnight session. I guess I was asleep during this time. And right now we have something new going on. So as always, when it comes to Monday, Tuesday, and sometimes even Wednesday as well, I do favor the CME chart over spot price action chart, and this one would have been a lot more clear right here. Obviously, Bitcoin, you know, above 60,000 bucks on CME while CME is trading, because you know you obviously can't break it while it's not fucking trading. Then you know you don't have a legitimate break just yet. So I would be looking at the CME chart to kind of give that edge if it is going to happen, and no longer would the target be down to $59,000 if that does get resolved in that direction. Realistically, be looking for the next sort of stop at around about 58,000 bucks for a little bit of a bouncy bounce. And then personally speaking, I'd be looking for a full move down about 54.5 to 55,000 bucks. Again, this would in no way, shape, or form be bearish on any time frame that matters for the long-term direction of this, even a daily right here. I mean, still, Bitcoin has not set in a higher low just yet, and coming down even to 58,000 bucks or 57,000 bucks for that matter is just a test at the daily 21 right here for reference, and the 55 is going to be marching up towards the $55,000 area probably in the next 7 days, I would say. So, you know, if that does happen, those, you know, if we do see a pullback first, those are kind of the areas that I'm looking towards. And again, still would be long-term bullish. But here's the thing. We do have on the bi-weekly over here, if I can find it. Yes, here we go. Nope, this is not my bi-weekly chart. Where's my bi-weekly chart? There we go. Fucking nice, baby. Fucking nice. We do have quite the setup right here. So again, the bi-weekly, obviously being a very high-term time frame, is going to have a massive range, obviously. I mean, last week's bi-weekly dildo, which just closed last night, had a range of closer to, oh my fucking God, man. Closer to $20,000 than not. I suppose more like 15,000 bucks right there. I'm just doing some bad mental math on the early morning hours. But as far as the setup goes, you know, again, Bitcoin could very easily come back down to 55,000 bucks, and that's just a backfill on last bi-weekly open. All of this is, you know, more or less bullish right here. And technically speaking, we did close on new optimize on the bi-weekly as well. So I do like all of this. The question is, do we get a pullback first, or do we continue from this exact level right here? I'd like to stay open-minded with that. I'd be entertaining the possibilities of that pullback first, if on CME and only fucking CME, although you could probably make it work on spot price action now too, now that they're both trading. We see like an hourly or 4-hour closure below 60,000 bucks. That would very likely do it. Again, yesterday I was a little bit jumping the gun on that one. I mean, we did get, actually did get a nice move within that direction, but not the full target that I was looking for if that were to happen. Anyways, with that in mind right here, I want to bring up something that I haven't really spoken about too much, which is going to be the ADR. So this is just advanced decline ratios right here. And on the bi-weekly specifically on spot price action, we have several iterations where, you know, anytime that this thing's getting above the one read, I mean, that's, and also it's above the PMARP right here as well. Sorry, the PMARP is above the moving average, more better said in that case. I mean, we've seen some pretty, dare I say, epic rallies. Last time that we saw this sort of a setup was way back on over here, coming in from August, basically lows at 10,200. And I mean, realistically, we didn't even see a pullback until fucking 300% later. Again, I'm not saying that we're going to go 300% from here, but this obviously happening over the course of about 3-4 months in that case. Pretty damn impressive. Obviously, this also did get the lows from the March 2020 dump. That would be your coronavirus dump. Or sorry, the flu is what I meant to say. Did not say that, YouTube. Okay, don't fucking ban me now. But of course, this one getting, you know, a pretty decent run of about 130% over the next, it looks like 4 or 5 months right there. And then of course, we got this one over here coming out of the 2019 lows, where Bitcoin went from 4,000 to 14,000 bucks. You know, 250% gainer right there over the course of 3-4 months yet again. So we can go over some more iterations other than that, but as you can see right here, with this just rearing its head above that region, I do look at this as more or less good. And, you know, if I did have to call it, I do believe in the next 2 to 4 weeks, we're going to see, you know, Bitcoin on significantly new all-time highs in that case. Again, could very easily come with a pullback down to 55,000 bucks. I would even like that if it does happen, just for my own sake. But of course, the market's going to do what the market's going to fucking do. And with that in mind, have to keep an open mind right there. Anyways, I also want to address this as well over here with our momentum oscillators on the weekly. We did see that weekly Stokes are remaining within the critical zone right here. Similar to what we saw back on in February of 2021. Being in the critical zone is, of course, a little bit of a cautionary area, but as long as you're maintaining above it, I do look at that as actually good. And of course, we can stay in the critical zone for a long time. For example, the last time that we were over here was coming out of the $30,000 base, and the first time that Bitcoin got to it in February. And obviously this led into what was not a blow off top, but just a nice distributive fashion right there of about 100% gainer first before coming back down. And that did take looks like about 3 months in that schedule as well. So I don't look at that as, too concerning. And in fact, I actually look at that as a good thing first and foremost. And then all of the higher term timeframes are still, more or less good here. Here's the thing though, we are nearing the end of October here. It's the 25th of October. We got literally less than a week in the trading month. And so it would be relevant to start looking at the monthly right here. And the monthly, as far as the troll under bands goes, I mean, this is not fucking bearish. Even just closing anywhere above 56,000 bucks is going to be interpreted as maybe not new all-time highs in November, but very likely new all-time highs by December in this case. And of course, we can come up with some areas of interest to the upside from there, which I can plot right now. It would be about 76,000 bucks would be the medium term on a break of that into probably November, and then 85 to 87,000 bucks. Maybe very likely after that. Then long term, we can look at some of these more impressive targets, but that's of course long term. And I want to keep these videos a little more grounded. On Elio's channel, I'll talk more about long term stuff because YouTube games need to be played, obviously. But on this channel, we can talk about more short term time frame stuff, and that's that's really where I kind of live myself. So in this case right here, remaining a little bit grounded even with these absolutely astronomical fucking numbers. I mean, again, you have to realize, or I'm sure that many people here were around during 2016, 2017. All of these numbers that we're operating at right now are on the moon as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this is just ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, but it is like, okay, this is nice. This is nice. Bitcoin has a fucking $6,000 dump, a 10% dumpola, and it's still above 60,000 bucks. What the fuck, man? What the actual fuck is going on here? Anyways, let's go into the short-term timeframes now and come up with a bit of ranges, as I would like to do. That would probably be a worthy thing to be doing right now, and let's just plop them on right here. Again, again, I will favor CME chart on Monday and Tuesday specifically for these reasons. 60,000 bucks, as long as you're above there, okay. I do still think that there's a little bit of a threat of a downside move below 60,000 bucks, especially on a 4-hour closure. Could you even do this on an hourly as well? Yeah, I do think that you could do this on an hourly in this case. Again, CME specific, not necessarily spot price action. That one will have fake outs. Then I would be looking for moves down first to about 57 base to 57,500. Very likely a bounce there. And then at that point, I'd probably be looking for that next move to be rejected and come down to 55,000 bucks. And at that point, I really start to entertain the possibilities of of your next daily high or low. But until that happens, I mean, technically speaking, sideways is fine here for the Boolaws. I mean, it's certainly not bearish going down. Even going down to 55,000 bucks, still, more or less good for the long term. I have no major concerns on Bitcoin's price action as long as it's above 48,000 bucks long term, just for what it's worth. And then, of course, short term, if Bitcoin does start to crawl its way back up, again on CME, back up about 63.5, especially on a 4-hour closure, I'd be looking for it essentially to, chat tag back up to prior all-time highs and very likely just continue on from there. So the question is, at least in my opinion right now, my disposition, my bias is, when, not if, do we see that, and kind of like what is the order of operations, so you can see the nuanced perspective now on the short-term time frame. So again, if you are new here, understand that we're always going to go over 2 scenarios at the very fucking minimum, because you need to. I mean, that's trading is a non-zero probabilistic game, and you need to have a plan for what the fuck to do when you're wrong, more importantly. And I can assure you of that fact, because I can also give you plenty of very bad examples from my own history where I did not adhere to that, and it was very painful, very fucking painful to wake up in the early morning hours with a red or green dildo shoved so far up your fucking bunghole that you're shish kebabbed out your mouth hole, and then your whole life is wrecked. And that actually can happen. But the markets right now are a little bit more on the easy side, so probably better to take advantage of it while it is available to us. If I'm looking at the hourly right here for CME, I would say that well, hold on. Do we have a little bit of hidden bearish evidence formulating right here? Let me just double check. No, we do not just yet. Not really giving me too much on the hourly right here. If anything, I suspect that we are actually already kind of testing around the 0.5 or the 618 retracement here, and this would be a bearish retracement. So again, as long as we are living below 62,500, it is a little more on the short-term downside angled, probably at the very least implying another test down to $61,000 before this is all said and done. And then of course $60,000 is going to be kind of the line in the sand, at least for what I'm looking at right now. So yeah, I think that is pretty much all that I want to speak about right now. Let's get on into the comments here. I'm going to turn on the alerts. I suspect it's going to be a fun day, so I'm very excited about this. And again, welcome if you are new here, of course. All right, let's see what else has got lined up over here. What's up, Mr. Chester Adlin? Your campaign of spreading FUD on Hex worked. Zimzer, when bottom, when moon. I don't think I spread FUD on Hex, man. I was actually pretty damn bullish on it when it was going from 2 cents to 50 cents. And then I called a top at 50 cents looking for a move down to 20 to 25 cents, of which I wish I actually traded this one, because this has probably been one of my better ones. Not to toot my own horn, but I don't know, just embarrassing when when you get it right, but you don't actually trade it. Or frustrating is really the proper word here. I'd be looking for bounces on Hex actually from these regions. I mean, it did hit right around 22 cents right there. We've got our first bounce up based off, I'm gonna imagine the weekly 21. Yes, indeed we do. I'd be looking for the bounce to continue, probably at the very least a 36 cent. Anywhere between about 36 cent and 40 cent is where I do look at this one as, if it is going to turn out to be long-term bearish, that's where you expect sort of your lower highs on your higher term time frame. So that's kind of my cautionary areas. Let me actually just highlight it out right here. Anything like this, essentially, if you do see any sort of a lower high structure right there, that's at the point where I'd start to be looking for retests of your 25 cent lows, and then very likely new lows after that, all the way down to 15 to even 12 cents. But short term, yeah, short term, very bouncy here. I don't really see anything too concerning on the daily. Let me go to the 4 hour as well. 4 hour looks bouncy as well here. I suppose I would invalidate what I'm saying on a short-term bounce. If this thing does come back down and close a 4 hour dildo below about 28 cents, I'd turn immediately bearish it again. But you see a slew of higher lows right here. And, essentially after a big move like that to the downside, kind of have to be looking for a bounce regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Hex, sir. What's up, Farhan? Good morning to you, my friend. Hope you had a good trip. I did, man. It's a really, really fun time, actually. I'm just feeling normal after getting back now. It's fucking insane, actually, what a few nights of not optimal sleep will do to me. Anyways, you're looking at seller, daily, and weekly. Okay, got it. Fib targets if possible. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be one of those weeks where we're going to be watching a lot of these more aggressive and ridiculous targets to the upside. But fair enough. I suppose if there's going to be any sort of a time to do it, now it'd be it. And yeah, let's definitely record this one. Here we have seller, symbol CELR versus the dollar. And we have a very interesting chart looking right here. This one long-term speaks volumes right here, as it's only been around for 3 years, but it's okay. I mean, we have seen a general uptrend. I love these higher lows, and this one consolidating basically around the highs is a very, very good signal. It is a sign of strength. You see another higher low right here. I would look for any sort of a resolution above 1785 as the next big event, so to speak. Looking for, let me just actually freshen this chart up because we really only need a couple things right here. Looking for, well, in this case, price discovery moves to the upside. Now, this will come in invalidation, and I want to be very directly clear with this. This whole next bit that I'm about to say is going to be severely invalidated if this thing comes back down and closes below about 12 cents even. Until then, though, I remain, I guess, more or less bullish on this. We can see hidden bullish evidence on the daily RSI right here. Daily BBWP is coming off the lows. I mean, this is a setup that you've seen in the past that has led to some pretty impressive moves, both the upside and the downside, by the way. But in this case, I am biased towards the upside based on momentum oscillators, namely the Joule and RSI right here. I do want to see what our fib targets would be out of the long-term base, just because if this one does enter into price discovery, probably going to be pretty fucking impressive. Short term, on a break of your 18 or so cent highs, daily close above there, even a 12-hour close probably does it. I'd be looking for the 1618 to get tagged. Short term to about 23 cents. Long term, this could be, I mean, long term, I mean, again, I just don't see too many highs coming around the 2-spot extension. You know, if we're talking a couple months down the road, I'm probably looking somewhere around, Jesus fucking Christ, 69 cents to maybe even all the way up to 90 cents. Maybe I'll make that the title of this video. I learned a bit of clickbait. While I was in Dubai hanging out with the masters over there. It's actually pretty funny, man. Those guys are pretty damn cool. I have a lot of good things to say about them, actually. Let's go check out momentum oscillators over here, just out of curiosity, and see what we got going on. And let's see what we got here. Okay, seller on the daily, how we looking like? Yeah, daily Stokes freshly popping up, volatility contracting into this higher low fashion right here. I really like that, obviously. And then I'm curious what the Trollinger bands are looking like as well. Can they help us with some upside expansion targets? No, because we're already trading above the top side on the monthly. Weekly would be at about 18 cents. Okay, so that is a good breakout level. And daily, basically 16 and a quarter. So daily does say that if you do start to close above 16 and a quarter, that'd be a good early signal that we will see this one expand towards those short, medium, and long-term targets. Again, in validation very clearly below about 12 cents even. At that point, I'd be looking for big moves down, back towards 9 to 10 cents or so. But for right now, looking pretty damn good. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for seller, symbol CELR. Nice one, man. All right, Neil Naranjo, you must have some good old Native American blood in you, sir. Maybe that's offensive. I don't know, but it's not intended to be. So hopefully the YouTube gods don't wreck my Angus on that one. Cadena, is it KDA? Yeah, it is KDO. Okay, so this one's a new one. I just started hearing about it out of requests like last month, I think. This one's this one's already pretty extended in my opinion. Now BBWP is not gonna be too useful in something that's been around for only about 6 months now. I really need to see a couple of years on the history right there, but maybe if we go to a lower term time frame, we can get something that's actually useful. Yeah, 12 hours redlining as well. I imagine 10 hours going to obviously be redlining. Yeah, okay, so we do see that consistently right here. Can this one go for one more leg to the upside? I suppose yes, but I think it's a lot closer to finding a top than not. So short term, this one actually does look like it wants to have one more leg to the upside. 4-hour momentum oscillators are still in a somewhat bullish posture, I suppose. Let's see what sort of major levels we're at right now as far as extensions go. Yeah, we're right at the 2618. I mean, I do like to look for medium-term tops around this level right here. So I would be a little bit more on the conservative side with something like this. Of course, it's not finished advice, but until you actually close a daily above, let's call it $7, I'd probably be looking for maybe one more wick to the upside, and then probably does come back down to 5, 6, or 6 and a quarter, somewhere around there, and tries to base off yet again. This one's been moving obviously pretty aggressively, man. It wouldn't take too much to get a bit of a consolidation lower. I'm curious what a weekly looks like here. I mean, obviously the weekly is good, but you can afford a pullback all the way down to like $4 and still be long-term bullish. So, when looking at something like this, man, I'm not going to have too many useful things to say. If we look at the short-term timeframes, like an hourly, I'd look for one more move to the upside. It probably makes a new high on this one as well. But until it actually closes a daily dildo on new highs, I'd probably be looking for that test to get rejected and then finds its way back down to the mid 5s, maybe upper 5s, and then come back to it after that. Because this one is, I mean, on every time frame, basically, volatility is just stretched out to the fucking maximum. Not that there is a maximum, but, when you're thinking in probabilities terms, more likely to consolidate. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to, reverse, but consolidate into hopefully a higher low fashion for the boo laws on this one. What's up, Mr. Jack? Oh, there he is. Welcome back. Business as usual. All right. What's it going to be, Ethereum or Solana? I think you probably mean Ethereum Bitcoin, which we can pull up. Where is my Ethereum Bitcoin? Ethereum, please respond. Please respond. There it is. Found it. Fucking nice. All right, sweet. Let's put this on a daily. I believe you like your short and medium term timeframes. Okay, so a couple things of interest right here. And we need to kind of like lay out the narrative. So if Bitcoin does continue sooner rather than later, I would expect Ethereum and pretty much most altcoins, 90 to 95% of altcoins, to take a step back versus their Bitcoin parent. I do think that we're potentially seeing the next lower high right here on the daily. If we are seeing something like that, we'd expect to see potential hidden bearish divergence. And guess what? We would certainly have that right here between this point on your October highs, early October highs that is, and this point right here alongside lower highs on price action. How would you confirm this? Any sort of a daily closure, even a 12-hour closure below yesterday's low at 6.6 million Satoshis. I'd be looking for first move down to about 6.4, very likely a bounce there, and then find its way back down to 6.15 or so. Long term, this is still pretty fucking good, man. I mean, this is still pretty fucking good, actually, long term. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, you got another higher low on the weekly right here, so it would say on the macro, you might even be looking at some sort of an ascending triangle like this. And yes, you can play out that downside move and still maintain the posturing for this. But something like this kind of what you'd be looking for. As long as you're above basically 6 million Satoshis, that is still available to you. My question is, though, is that if Bitcoin gets going here, which is not a done deal just yet, how is Ethereum and most altcoins going to handle up? Probably not too well, if I had to guess, at least historically speaking. So long term, like very long term, I'm obviously still macro bullish on this. It's just, where do we find that next higher low? Have we already found it right here? or not. I suspect that whether you found it here or not, you're very likely to come back down and grind this area out, and we'll probably have a clarity on that situation early next week if I had to guess, maybe later this week if we're lucky. You know, but again, very, very long term, very, very good. If we look at the short term timeframes, yeah, I am starting to see a little bit of toppy behavior here short term. I'd be at the very least be looking for a move down to like 6.5 million satoshis and then come back to it after that. Or sorry, 6 million satoshis, and then kind of look at where the daily and 12-hour land later today, and that can drive targets a bit lower because we do have those setups in place. And you know, again, this does really look like a lower high in the making. Probably just takes a few days here. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for good old Ethereum Bitcoin. Let's see, BK, what's up, man? Luna USD 4-hour daily weekly. Yeah, let's do this one. This one's certainly recordable as well. Actually, just recorded a video on this one for Elio's channel, which I've been doing videos for recently. It's actually pretty damn fun, man. We got a nice little Avengers team going on right now. Anyways, let me take a sip of this water and then we'll get into this one. Elsa's having some laughs over there. What's up? What's up, sir? Oh, the people are offended by your laughing. Right. Be more respectful. That's right. Yes, we're talking about very serious things right now. We're talking about fucking magic money, guys. Hey, in case you didn't know, all this stuff is magic money as far as I'm concerned for right now. No, I mean, obviously it's going to be, or at least hopefully some of them are going to actually survive the test of time. But all right, here we go. Here we have Terra Luna symbol LUNA versus the dollar. And what do we have right here? We have a series of higher lows. In fact, I missed one right there. So let's just mark this baby off. 1, 2, 3. Love that. And that is going to set into the bias right here that as long as this thing is essentially above the current higher low, which is just at about 34.25 or so on a daily closure, I look at this one as long-term bullish, obviously. With a confirmation of a resolution above 47 bucks even. Above there, I'd be looking for this one to... Yeah, I suppose in this case, it's already at all-time highs, so I suppose it would go into price discovery. Can we come up with some extensions for some targets to the upside long-term? Perhaps yes. Let me get the macro scale right here. Something like this. Okay, beautiful. And short-term on a break of the... Oh, actually, no, we're already at the 1618, so that's about 48 bucks or so. Closure above there would look really, really good for long-term continuation. Now, when I talk about this one, again, I'm probably going to have some sort of, you know, bullshit clickbait title for it. Understand that that is not like the main target like for today or anything like that. Not that there is any sort of targets because it is just an idea. But long term, I would be looking realistically towards 3 digits plus, probably sometime around end of the year, maybe January if that does play out. And again, in validation below about 34.25 on a daily closure, I'd be looking for big moves to the downside, somewhere between about 23 and 25 bucks if that were to happen. Probably going to be easier to watch Bitcoin in this case, as that one's going to set the tone. Anyways, what do we have over here as far as momentum oscillators go? Or actually, nope, wrong chart. Let me pull up this one right here. Boom, and see where we're at. Yes, okay, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I remember from that video. Weekly Stokes, having a fresh cross the upside. It is a little bit in a precarious place there. So it is suggesting that if this thing does not continue this week, it's probably not going to be good, quote unquote. Meaning that the breakout probably does fail. So this one is kind of a ticking time bomb, saying that if you do not continue above that that pivot, which was, if I recall correctly, about 47 bucks. Yep, 47.25 to be exact. Then by the end of this week, or I guess Sunday, I suppose. Although I'd really like to see it before Friday, then probably not going to work out, and probably do see a pullback first. And in that case, you're probably going to see those mid $20 numbers. But for right now, looking pretty damn good right there. Daily is obviously to the upside as well. And if we go over to our Bollinger Band charts as well here, I suspect that we have a bit of a setup. Yeah, daily BBWP, or sorry, daily Bollinger Bands right here contracting quite significantly. So we're very likely looking for a breakout relatively soon. And that would even say that you could probably front run a breakout, not for 47.25, but 46.5 or so. Also marked off the PMARP over here as well. Anytime that we've kind of gained the moving average on it, been generally good, and ADR is actually just creeping up to 1 right there, which is a good sign as well. Do we have any sort of divergences to be aware of? Yes, we do. Daily hidden bullish evidence right there, and daily BBWP is expanding off the lows. So yeah, again, I would be biased towards the upside, but below 34, that's where problems do arise. Very, very short term, like a 4-hour. Short term, looking for a short term move to just below 42 bucks to 41.90 or so. Very likely a bounce there. Problems below 40.30. Can you not? And yeah, looking overall good for the long term. Short term, just a bit more sideways here is kind of what it looks like to me. Again, big pivot at 34 bucks, and hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Lunar. It's in the name, baby. What's up, Gemini athlete? XLM. Okay, XLM. Let's pop this one on. Got STR over here. 37, 38 cents. Again, another altcoin that's it's going to follow the rest of the market. You just got a golden cross right here on the daily. I mean, this is overall good, but it's certainly not as strong as a lot of the other names that we've seen today. The ones that are pretty much around all-time highs already. This one's obviously a lot less below it. Are you laughing, sir? Okay. Elsa's having a laugh today.
I'm sorry. I apologize if I
It is kind of silly that people get offended by that. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Look what you've done. Look what you fucking done now. Anyways, weekly closure above, what is this, like 40 cents or so, and I'd be looking for this one to tag back up towards about half a buck, somewhere between about 50 and 55 cents or so. Again, long term, it's very likely to follow the rest of the market. It does look like it's stronger than XRP, for example. But in terms of like relative strength towards a lot of the things in the market, we've seen obviously a lot more bullish charts today. In the short term. So if you are looking at short term, by the way, I do have a nice base right here at about 36.85, let's call it. Short term, looking for a pop back up towards 38.5 to 39 cents or so. Closing a 4-hour dildo above 39.25, and I'd probably be looking for this move to get started sooner rather than later. Until then, just short term range here. And where would I say that this gets invalidated or start to like not look so good anymore? The obvious area would be below about 34 cents or so. Again, it's decent here. There's definitely worse charts out there in the world, but it's not the strongest chart of the day, I would say. What's up, Teskina? Appreciate that, but feel free to have a message if you would like. Did he just say COVID is a flu? No, if you say the C word on the interwebs, then the overlords that be do not like that, so it's better to call it just a flu. Anyways, let's see. God himself, Krown, sir, please have a look at sushi on the 4-hour and 12-hour. All right. Well, you can't say no to God. God is here. God is real, and he is watching over you. He's even in the chats, and apparently he likes sushi. Man, this one's sloppy as fuck right here too. Similar to Stellar, just not as much of an interesting chart. Again, whatever Bitcoin does, this thing is going to follow, but this thing is, the strong ones are already at their all-time highs or even making new all-time highs, and as we've seen in some cases. Here's what I'd say about this one, though. You do have what appears to be a slew of higher lows right here. It's just wiki as fuck, because I imagine that this one is, low liquidity and whatnot, but something like this is what I'd be looking for right here. As long as you are above that last higher low, which is just around $10, I suppose I would be cautiously looking for it to trade sideways and up from here. Looking at the 4-hour, I'm not a big fan of this chart, to be honest with you. There's certainly a lot better charts out there in cryptocurrency land right now. Weekly, same thing, not really getting too much unique information from this one. Where's your breakout level? Where's the time to actually be paying attention towards this one in perhaps the long term? Back above your 11th of October highs at 12.17. Then I'd be looking for a retest of your early September highs somewhere in the mid 15 region, and then it probably does pull through with the rest of the market. But until then, sideways is the name of the game, man. It's going to do whatever Bitcoin does. So, pray to Bula Jesus or God right here, because we actually do have God. It does read all the upside, but, at the same time, man, there's just a lot better charts going on right now. It's kind of perusing around here. Let me see. Did you include any time frames? Yeah, it's 12-hour and 4-hour. Okay, let's go to the 12 hours you suggested. BBWP is on the floor. I mean, we're going to see a move extremely likely today. I think at latest tomorrow. In this case, I do like the higher lows, same highs, does give me the bias that it probably does resolve to the upside. But again, anywhere below $10 on even a 12-hour closure in this case, I'm looking for this one to kind of fall apart back down to 8.5, maybe even lower than that, over time towards 8 even. Until then, I'd cautiously be looking for sideways and up, I suppose. But more difficult chart than it really needs to be, in my opinion. What's up, Jason Blaze? Cardano USD. Sure, man. Weekly. Okay, so you're looking at the macro here. Let's see what we got on Cardurpio. Where's my Cardurpio here? Come on, show it to me. There it is. Found it. Nice. Okay, cool. Let's actually record this one as well. Here we have Cardano, symbol ADA versus the dollar, and we actually have something that is worth paying attention to right now. Well, the reason why I say that is because 12-hour BBWP, our volatility indicator, and I imagine the daily as well, are both at 0 percentile reads for a decent amount of time. This thing is ready to fucking move. I would say if it doesn't move within the next 48 hours, that would be very surprising. I'd say at latest Wednesday. This video being recorded on Monday the 25th. And in this case right here, we do have that slew of higher lows. We also do have some lower highs as well. So this one does make it a little more difficult. In this case, do have to be direction neutral based off of the volatility reads, and the ranges are quite obvious. We could even curtail the top side of the range significantly down, looking for a resolution to the upside, or declaring a resolution to the upside, better said, above about 227.5, 228 on a daily closure. To the downside, very easy actually. $2 would be the magical number right there. Below $2, I do look for this one to take out a nice short-term dump-ola to 170 to 175 or so. Very likely a bit of a bouncy bounce there, and then long-term continuation actually towards 1.5, maybe even 135. That would be pretty damn nasty. But within the context of the market right now, you do kind of have to err on the on the side of the upside, I suppose. Daily RSI, is it in a bullish posture? No, it's neutral. That is about as neutral as fuck as it gets. Daily jewels give me a somewhat of a bullish signal here, but it's not supported by DMI, so that's usually not going to be a fully verified one. I'd be waiting for ranges in this case. A daily closure of about 227.5, and then I'd be looking for this one to play back up to the top side of your September highs, actually at around about 275 to 280 or so, and that looked really good for the long term. Speaking of long term continuation, this thing's set in such a macro base long term that I'm kind of scared to look at what the projection is going to be from SPIB per. God damn it, I can't speak. I give up. Something like this, what we'd be looking at. Long term, you'd probably be looking at crazy numbers, which I'm not going to repeat right now. I'd want to see it actually break to the upside first, so that'd be kind of like the short term ranges right there. If you're looking at the weekly, actually does kind of smooth that out a lot better. You can see the 21 right there. If you lose a 21 at $2, you're very likely looking for a big move down to 140 to the upside, a lot easier just within the current context of the market. And monthly, speaking of, since we're getting close to the end of the month, not really giving us too much either. This could very easily be a top right here, and we would have bearish divergence, and that would be the next sort of etching that I'd be looking for in order to get this baby back down. Maybe if that happens, maybe in the long term down to $1 or so. Be pretty damn nasty right there. Let's see, maybe some momentum oscillators over here can help us out with a bit of a bias, because I don't see anything super obvious just yet. Daily Stokes are up as long as above 215, 215.5 by the way, which right now we are about 2 cents below. What about 12 hour? 12 hour is going to pop back up above 217. Okay, so that one's also downside angled. 2-day is 220. All right. And 5-day is 257 actually, but we're having a bit of a reset right there, as is the weekly as well. So, those would be the pivots for that one. If you start to trade back above those regions, going to start to look pretty damn good. Until then, though, a little bit of a difficult chart right there actually. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for Card Derpio. All right, sweet man. Let's see. Gemini Athlete says Ren 4-hour daily and weekly. Okay, all right. Ren USD. Let's see what we got going on over here. Oops, we're on monthly, and you're looking at a what? Daily and weekly. Daily, good. Actually, very good. In fact, this one has a very similar setup to a lot of the other more bullishly imposed charts. We see daily BBWP on the floor, expanding from basically single-digit percentile reads. That's just below 4 percentile right there, so good. We are looking at a move very, very likely, early this week. Daily RSI gives a bit of a bias towards an upside resolution. Hidden bullish evidence of that last low. Daily Jewel obviously bullish as well. And just as an aside, as long as this thing's above about $1 on a daily closing basis, I would be looking for this one to continue on with the party. All major moving averages are bullish right here. And where's your resolution to the upside? In this case, actually pretty damn simple. Any sort of a daily closure on new highs at 123.5. And I'd be looking for this one to get going here. Short term, you would have a bit of a technical target, seeing as this is, a bit of a bit of an awkward looking ascending triangle right there. And let's see where to be pointed towards. Hey, stop that. About 160 or so, if that were to happen. Again, invalidation below about $1, looking for big moves down. Very likely somewhere around 75 to 80 cents or so, but for right now, as long as Bitcoin kind of remains upside here, it's okay. I'm sure that a lot of people are probably talking about this on Bitcoin, though. I'm sure that a lot of people are talking about this on Bitcoin. In fact, I think I saw a comment earlier about it, that the weekly closed bearish. Yes, this would be a shooting star dildo right here, but there's a couple things that do stand out about this. The volume signature, and namely, if you are going to see a rejection like this, you typically want to see it on big volume. That is, that's going to be a lot more obvious signal as a, as a reversal. And then obviously you want to see the next week close below the low of the prior. So can it happen? Yeah, absolutely. And that is why I do entertain these, those downside targets from earlier, especially if $60,000 gives way to even a 4-hour closure. But for right now, that is actually not too concerning, at least in the way that I look at things. If we look at CME, okay, that's a lot more concerning right there. That's actually pretty damn bad. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about CME on the 5-day. Which I think reveals a little bit better the overall direction. We're actually trending above the topside trolling bands right here. And yeah, could very easily have a move down to 55, but that is still, long-term pretty damn good. So, well, I'll just leave it right there and then we'll come back to it maybe a little bit later. What's up, Ramon? Hello, good sir. Good to have you back. It's good to be back, man. Found the cool metaverse token NTVRK. Okay. I'm a big fan of the metaverse. NTVRK. Okay, this thing. Netvark. All right, here we go. Not much history here. Unfortunately, you're looking at a 4-hour. Okay, maybe that actually will be useful then. Yeah, it's okay. Obviously, you do see a little bit of a reaccumulation formation going on right here. You do see those higher lows. That is good. Short term, do we see anything that's obvious? A little bit of phantom drives of bullish divergence right there. So short term, a little bit of a bias towards the upside. It's probably actually maybe the hourly that's going to be a little more obvious right here. And yeah, we do have a slew of higher lows now, so that is good. I would be looking for a short term breakout to the upside above about 2.25. Looking for a move back up towards your middle of October highs right here at about 2.5 or so. And then above there, you're probably looking at another run towards your prior highs, but not much history here. So I always feel a little bit disingenuous when I talk about, analysis on these things, just because you really want to see multiple years of history at the minimum. We're looking at an hourly right now, which on an asset that's been around for, a couple weeks now. So do I trust it that much? No, but if I had to call it, that's kind of what I'd be looking for right here. Obviously, I would be looking for another run back down to about 190 if this one does start to close below about 205. 205 in that case. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. What's up, Rolando? Nice exotic name, by the way. Morning, sir. Mitch Ray had hyped a trade setup for Doggy. Did structure break? Can you give me an analysis? Let's see what Mr. Ray was up to, man. I really like that guy. Good guy. Very good guy. Let's see what we got over here. I sound like Trump right now. Good guy. Very, very good guy. No, he is a good guy. One of the good ones, man. One of the good ones. Also got to give shout outs to Rocky, my fucking man over there. Good guys. Well, it talks mostly about traditional markets, but I do like him. Anyways, Doggy. Okay, yeah, I do see what he's looking at right here. You did kind of break above your short-term accumulation range. You do have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders here as well, above about a quarter. It has broken above there. Yes, you are getting stifled at the 200 simple, but when you grind up against it, this many times, it's usually a sign that it's probably going to break, and all the lesser moving averages are in bullish posturings right here. So if I had to call it right now, yeah, I'd agree with him. I'd probably be looking for a move back up towards 30 cent plus, and long term, what do you have right here? Let me put it on a weekly, probably gonna be more obvious. You do have a series of higher lows. You got your weekly lows from July, and then of course a little bit of a higher low right here. Long term, probably get a little more excited about something like this above about 34 cents or so. At that point, this one gets to join the rest of the market, but usually not a good sign. Usually not a good sign. Let's record this one actually. Yeah, let's record a fucking doggy coin piece of shit analysis. How about that? Here we have doggy coin piece of shit analysis, and my apologies. We have a very serious analysis on the very highly esteemed doggy coin. Weekly, setting in a higher low right here, breaking back above the 21 and 10 simple, and I do like that for an overall setup. Obviously, anytime that I see higher term time from higher lows, that is going to be of note. We do see hidden bullish divergence on the weekly as well right here. Starting to slowly play out, but I wouldn't get too excited about this thing as long as you are below essentially this would be August highs, above about 32.25 on a weekly closure. At that point, I'd really start to look for this one to join the rest of the market. Probably not a good sign for the rest of the market for what it's worth. Probably pissing off a lot of people right here as well, but please understand that we're just simply looking at charts, that's all. Probably looking at a move back up towards 50 cents if that were to happen. Anyways, go down to a daily and see if that is relevant for the shorter term timeframes. Looking at a daily right here, BBWP volatility is starting to expand off the lows, so we're very likely looking at a move this week again. Daily Jewel is suggesting an upside resolution right here. I would even say that this one on the short-term time frames has already kind of resolved itself above about a 1.25 right there. Yes, short-term, back testing that is completely fine. So I would be looking at that as an invalidation for the short-term, meaning that if we start to close dailies below 1.25, I would be looking for another run around the lows. Let's call it 20 to 21 cents or so. Until then, short-term sideways and up is the name of the game, it looks like, with short-term targets probably somewhere around 30 cents, and then look for the weekly to take over if it is going to take over. Curious to see what we look like over here as well. Let's see what we got. What is it? What is it going to be? Daily Stokes up as long as above 25.5. Okay, so those are pivoted around the same number. Good. What about weekly? Weekly had a fresh cross the upside. Actually, just last night, in fact. It remains the upside as long as above 23.40. So, be aware of the invalidations on something like this. Of course, it's not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor. And we also do kind of have, a bastardized sending triangle going on right here as well, which would have a technical target. I'm going to guess towards that 50-cent number. So, what do you fucking know? There it is. And of course, above there, then you can start to get excited, or at least I would start to get excited about new all-time highs. I probably wouldn't get excited at all because I don't trade this thing, nor do I have any ambitions to. But hey, fair enough. Hopefully that was helpful. Here would be how about this though? We should cover up like what would be phenomenally bearish on this. Daily closure below 20 cents and then send it all the way back down to low teens. I'm talking about 12 to 13 cents before the next like daily bounce. Until then, I would remain optimistic, I suppose. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for doggy piece of shit coin. Nice, man. Nice. Anyways, Zane Storm says XTZ USD perpetual Femex. Okay. All right. XTZ US derp. Okay. All right. And you're looking at a what? Okay, immediate short term. So to me, that means like an hourly and 4 hour. I mean, it is trending down here on the 4 hour. Kind of hard to get excited about. Very, very short term as long as you're below this pivot at about 690. Let's go down to an hourly and see what that one says. Hourly, just another lower high, it looks like. Hidden bearish divergence on that one. I've been looking for next move down, probably down to about 640 or so. Now, XTZ, I do remember on the very high term timeframes was one of the more interesting charts. So, yeah, it certainly is. If this thing came down to like $5.50 or so, that'd be quite nice. But long term, obviously, you do have a just straight up, upwards trend, which I do obviously like. It's just if you're specifically asking about the short term timeframes. Extremely short term, I do think that it will come back down around here. I'd be looking, hopefully, if you are bullish on this thing, for a higher low anywhere above about 635 or so. Where will you know that I'm actually wrong on this one? Well, I'm probably going to be wrong on this one because on the 4 hour, it doesn't look so bad. In fact, BBWP come off the lows right here as well. You do have a bit of a falling channel. Certainly not my favorite formation of all time. But what does speak to me is that the topside resistance is directly in line with the topside resolution in this case. Anywhere above about 690, I'd be looking for this one to return back up towards 7.5 and probably work its way upwards and onwards from there. Until then, bit of a range play short term is kind of what I'm looking at here. And 4 hour closures below 640, and I'd be looking for this one to dump back on out towards 590 or $5.50, and then come back to it after that. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. What's up, Raj? Love you as well, sir. Uniswap pair, please, on ALBT. Okay. I remember this one from a while ago. Okay, you specifically want to look at Uniswap pairs. I suspect that KuCoin is going to probably be better to look at this thing on. This thing is very obviously leveling out right here, and you do know that to be true, or at least the bias for that to be true is that we see volatility contracting into this, what appears to be a macro higher low, which is a good sign long term. The question is, do we have one more move to the downside or not? And I would be looking for one more move to the downside if this thing does close daily totals below about 65 cents. At that point, I'd actually be quite bearish on something like this. Perhaps looking for big moves down after that point to just below $0.50. Until then, though, any sort of price action above basically kind of where we're at right now is somewhat okay. I do not like these lower highs right here. Same lows would technically equate to a descending triangle, which is obviously a bearish distribution pattern. But you got something like this going on right here, which would imply that, if you do start to break back above about 78 cents, you're looking for this one to return to former glories like your late September highs in that case. Until then, I do like what this one's done over the long period of time, to be fair. I mean, it's only been around since, a year, but this one's been a pretty damn good performer. So I'm inclined to give it kind of the benefit of the doubt here, but please understand where the invalidations are. As long term, that would look very, very bad. But for right now, this kind of be like the obvious setup area. Yeah, monthly is a little bit concerning here as well. So I do want to give this one respect just because it has been generally up for the past year, which is a very good sign long term. It's just, is this one going to pull through right here or not? I would say any sort of a break below 67.5, that's problem city right there. Until then, well, sideways without breaking, okay, but just understand what the resolution points are. Take another sip of this water, man. My voice is already getting fucking wrecked. There we go. G at 12 says, can we look at Blocktopia? Symbol BLO. I'm glad that you included the symbol, man. I've never heard of this one, man. Blocktopia, huh? Sounds legit. Well, chart's good. Well, at least we we have about 2 weeks of history. All good, all fucking in, right? It is actually good right here, man. You actually have a bit of a 4-hour setup, to be fair. Look, as long as you're above about, what is this, 3.25 cents? I'm looking for this one to flag outwards and upwards. I mean, this is obviously a reaccumulation right here. Probably better seen on like an hourly. Yeah, a nice little ascending triangle right here. Again, invalidation below about 3.25. As long as you're above there, this one is biased towards the upside. Resolution above 3.75. I'm looking at a move towards about 420. In fact, great number. Now, if you do resolve the downside below about 3.25, I would look for this one to come down hard. Ooh, a little bit of a coffee burp right there. Somewhere around 295 or so is what I'd be looking for. I mean, quite a nasty move, actually. Let's just call it 3 cents, actually. Hopefully that's helpful, sir. Super Googly says, hello, sir. Did you manage to avoid No, actually met him, man. I really like him as a person, man. I've actually done videos with him back in 2019. You know, we've always been friends behind the scenes, but you know, there's a difference between your YouTube like analysis and personality and then how he is in like actual person. He's a great guy in person, man. I imagine that anyone would enjoy his presence in person, man. I have nothing but good things to say about him as a person, man. He's fun guy to hang out with. Very fun guy to hang out with. And man, those guys, those fucking Bybit chillers, man, they are rich beyond belief. Like it's actually insane. It's actually fucking insane. I can verify that they do live that life. Maybe you don't necessarily agree with the way that they generated their gains, but man, they're going to absolutely fucking they're living their best lives, man. You got to respect that. Anyways, you're looking at SHIB versus the dollar daily. Sure. Here. Okay, today for the Bitcoin price. There you go. Do a nice video like that sometime. All right, you're looking at SHIB daily. Yeah, let's do a video on this one. Here we have SHIB versus the dollar, and we have a, hold on, I am not recording. My apologies there. Let me actually get this properly. Here we have SHIB versus the dollar, and we have a pretty impressive chart. You know, as much as I always want to disparage the meme coins, this one actually apparently does have some fundamentals alongside of it, and we did get our breakout above about 3,000 US dollars, not obviously 3,000 US dollars, but 3,000 like 100ths of a US dollars, some shit like that. It's very small numbers. I'm just referring to the right hand pane over here. Have we met the measure move on this one already? And if so, where's the next areas of interest? Yes, we have, all the way up to 4,200. This one is obviously looking like continuation today, or maybe not necessarily today, but over the next 48 hours, most likely, as long as this condition holds. The one spot, 414 right here at 3,600 or so. As long as you're closing dailies above there, I do remain more or less bullish on this. And I would be looking for more immediate continuation if this one does close above about 3,800 today. If that does happen, I'd be looking for next big legs up, basically towards 45 to 4,800 or so. Pretty crazy chart right there. You can see on the volume signature, however, that it is starting to lose a little bit of steam, a little bit of momentum. That's okay. It can still go on a little bit longer, but when this thing comes down, I imagine it's going to come down hard. Short term, do we see anything of particular interest right here? BBWP is kind of coming off the highs, so have we seen the short-term highs for now? Probably yes. Comes down to about 37 or 3,800 or so. I would be looking for a bit of a bouncy bounce right there. In fact, now that I go down to the hourly, if you even come back down to about 3,800 or so, I would be looking for a bounce, but I would be looking for it to continue down to about 3650 to 36 even. After that, still would be on a higher low and still would be overall good for the long term, dare I say, which is kind of crazy on this thing. But you know, you have to respect a good chart when you see a good chart. And daily hidden bullish evidence right here, alongside continuing to expand on the BBWP. I mean, that is rather interesting. 12 hours getting up there as well. I mean, it's pretty much within the area that I start to look for potential major highs. But in this case, because you are in such a parabolic blow off right here, I suspect that this one's going to see something similar to what we saw in early October, where, you know, it puts in a lot of drives at 100 percentile before it actually does top off. So that would imply, you know, another run here. In fact, the 12 hour is still bullish. Let's go check out what are the momentum also to say, just to see if they agree or not. Maybe there's something more obvious over here. Well, weekly is obviously good. Daily is, oh my God. Oh my fucking god, this thing is actually going to continue up. Jesus fucking Christ. Of course, it's not Fender Fast, not Fender Faster, blah, 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 blah. As long as it's above 3,600, I am looking for expansion towards, I guess, 5,000 over the next couple weeks here. 4 hour. 4 hours consolidating more or less, so I would be looking for that. I would be looking for short-term, a little bit of a downside test. 12 hour still good above 3,900 or so. So, you know, understand where those pivots are. Here's the real question. Where would I actually get bearish on this one? Looking for this whole move, not necessarily the whole move, but a big downside move. Below 3,300. Below 3,300 is where I start to get pretty damn bearish on this one, even on just a tick. Doesn't need to close below there. I'd be looking for a return back down towards 2,500 base to maybe even all the way down to 2,000, or sorry, what is this, 2,300? 25 to 2,200 overall over time. Until then, short-term sideways is good. Again, as long as you're above about 3,600 or so. However, short-term, I do think it is going to come down here. It's just consolidating within this fashion would be more or less fine. I mean, there's nothing really bearish about, you know, presumably something like this going on. If that is what happens, that is why 3,600 is such a important pivot. Below 3,600, even on like a 4-hour closure, I'd start to look for this one to test that major area at about 33. Below 33, that's where, well, I'd be looking for big dump olas, you know, short-term moves down to about 3,000 even, and come back to it after that. Hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for SHIB token. Let's see. Dr. Bitcoin says, Krown, hope you're well, man. Yeah, man. I think so. Take a peek at Netflix. Okay, yeah, let's look at some real stocks. Let's look at some shit that actually produces something. I guess you can't really say that too much about cryptocurrencies any longer, but Netflix looking really good. Looking really, really good here. Hidden bullish evidence on that last daily higher low. This one's already at new all-time highs. Volatility expanding off the lows here as well. Weekly is a blue sky breakout. Where's the next areas of interest towards the upside? Let's see. See what the old bot and algo targets are going to be. You're already above the 1618, so it's expansion from there. You did see a quick sell-off from there. That's okay. 680, probably looking somewhere around 680 long-term, maybe above 700 or so. Man, that is fucking insane. I would be a little bit more cognizant that the Fed talking about tapering, which it seems like it actually will happen, knock on wood, will probably throw a spanner into the works of a lot of these bullish stocks and probably even Bitcoin as well. But at least for right now, that is, as far as charts go, good. Invalidation on a daily below about $600 even, which is not even helpful right now because this one's so fucking far away from there. And that is just insanity. Can we do something better on a daily? Yeah, below 6.25, 625. I'd start to look for a deeper retracement first, perhaps back down around 590 to 600 even, and then come back to it after that. What's up, JMB? Hey, Krown, I thought the longs were first liquidated last November 26th, then shorts got washed out starting December 16th after some accumulation. Was over 10% downside move on closing basis between the 25th and 26th. Yeah, you're certainly correct on that, or I'm just repeating what you're saying, but I do know that you are 100% correct on that. You're talking about this area over here. I think it was more than a 10% move, by the way. Yeah, that was a nearly 20% move, man. But if you're talking about closure to closure, maybe a little bit more curtailed on that. Let's see. Yeah, more like 10%, which is kind of actually what we've seen thus far. You would be right. You are right, is what I should say. But matching that up with what we see over here, you can't see because my face is in the way. Let me just move it for a second. You're referring to this over here versus this over here, and then the leverage ratios. The leverage ratios are very similar, like almost spot on. Our current area is just a smidgen below. Open interest in general, though, was a lot relatively lower. Now, you could argue that there's good fundamental reasons for that. There's just more players in the game right now, and I would 100% agree with that. But I do want to offer that counterpoint. But basically, what you're saying is, yeah, we have a similar setup right here. Yeah, I would agree. First liquidate the longs. Have we maybe have already seen that? Perhaps yes, but you would have expected the leverage ratio to come down in a similar fashion to what we saw the next couple of days after that, and we haven't really seen that just yet. So I'm still a bit on edge due to that reason, and almost alone for that reason. Yeah, the weekly closure wasn't spectacular, but the leverage ratios just really do have me kind of concerned on this one, because if this one wants to dump out, it would really not take too much to get it back down to like 55. That is my concern for right now. If you want to be more short-term bullish. Anyways, is there? No, I won't mention that. It's not important, actually. But yeah, good analysis there, sir. I'm going to take another sippy sip of this, though. AD, hey, what's up, AD? Do you think leverage ratio on Bitcoin could grind down by pumping like it did at 20,000? Yeah, it could. Theoretically, I mean, that's obviously very, very possible. What would that imply? People start to let go of their leverage positions, whether it be, longs or shorts, doesn't really matter. And they either hold or increase their spot positions. Yeah, definitely possible. Definitely possible. Because think about it. What are a lot of people doing? Why are a lot of people presumably shorting into a region like this, around your prior highs? There's actually a very good theoretical reason why. They're very likely protecting their spot underline. So if you're long the underline and you want to protect your dollar value of it, and you're around prior all-time highs and you're thinking, okay, we might double top here, we might have a retracement, I just want to protect my gains. What you do is you'd short on leverage. It doesn't necessarily have to be equal to your spot long positions, but it could be. Could even be a little bit more if you, maybe want to take the trade, but just want to cover yourself, right? And then as the underlying asset proves itself by, essentially maintaining those areas and then rallying from them, then you let go of those short positions, and it adds, fuel to the liquidity fire for some upside. And that's actually a very common strategy for, big funds and whatnot. Not as much for retail traders. They typically don't think like that, but yeah, it's definitely possible, and that is exactly pretty much what we did see in November. Although it did come with an initial dump off first. And if we're going from closure to closer, similar, they're actually right on the fucking dot, 1175. Kind of weird, interesting. But yeah, it can come multiple ways. I mean, the leverage ratio is just a function of leverage positions versus spot positions, and obviously leverage positions can be both long and short. So it's a little bit difficult to directly say this is what's happening, because you just don't know people's positions. The best way that we can do that is actually searching up over here, which actually we'll do right now. But it's not going to be perfect just because I can only grab the last day of history. What we can do right here is look at the day, and what I'm looking at is specifically spot versus perps. And you can see that both are net sellers, and it's not necessarily net sellers, but what it is that it's more downside pressure on price action. There's more market shorts or market sells versus market longs. And yeah, the perps representing, essentially leverage positions is coming down a lot harder. Absolutely. I mean, that does appear to be what's happening. I've been watching it the last few days, and that has been consistent actually. So for what it's worth, that's what I'd say about that. Let's see. Wanders trading. What's up, man? Will you look at Bcash USD, Coinbase, daily and 4 hour would be great. All right, man. I can look at Bcash for you. I can't promise that I'll have anything. Did I just do AD? Yeah, I did. I just did ADs. Bcash, in a sea of mostly bullish charts that we've seen today, this is the least impressive thus far. Sorry, you said Coinbase. We'll go to your exchange of choosing. Again, as long as Bitcoin does essentially remain upside postured, you can't really be bearish on altcoins in general. And on this one, you do have a higher low on the weekly here, obviously, but it's a lot less of an impressive chart than many of the things that we've seen today. And I would say that if this thing does close anywhere below 5.9, let's just call it 595. I'd be looking for this one to completely shit the bed all the way back down below 500, probably towards 475, between there and about 400 even, actually. It's fucking Bcash, man. It's fucking Bcash. But, as long as Bitcoin does remain, I suppose, bullish, or at least, above $6,000, you can't really be bearish on something like this. And I would be looking for this one to somewhat join the party in a less impressive fashion if you do start to see closures, specifically on a daily above about $700. If that starts to happen, yeah, you're very likely to retest your September highs. It probably does pull through towards, your highs of 2021, essentially. But again, you have a chart here that going back to 2017 has not come anywhere near its prior all-time high. This is the real chart. This is the linear scale. That's really not a good sign long term. It's just weak. But if you're in the crypto market and Bitcoin's bullish, generally US dollar valuation will go up, which this one has been, just not as impressive. So I feel like I need to say that as well. But yeah, very likely to follow the rest of the market. And you're looking at a 4 hour. Sorry, you're not even concerned with anything that I'm saying right there. I apologize. That's completely irrelevant to you. Let's see. Hidden bullish evidence on that last low. Volatility expansion coming. I would say that you have an invalidation on this, of course, below about 610. Let's call it on a 4 hour closure. Below there, that would be invalidated. Looking for big moves down to, well, I wouldn't say big moves, but moves down to like 595 or so. Until then, short term, probably looking for a move back up towards 635 or so. I'd get a little more excited short term if it can close above 650 and look for moves back up towards 700 essentially. That would happen. What's up, Matt Rutledge? Been on vacation and haven't been able to watch. All good, man. I have been on vacation as well, actually. So good time, man. Just stopping in and saying hi. Hey, all good, man. And thank you for that. Hope your vacation is going nice and swimmingly. And curious, where are you vacationing around this time of year? Need to take another sippy sip of this, man. Is good. It's real good. Simply Gain says CRV, daily, 3-day and weekly. Okay, let's see what we got over here. This is a reward token, I believe. So I suspect it's probably not going to be, well, actually, it's pretty damn good right there. This one's breaking out, man. This one's breaking out like right now. Oh, man, you had a fucking textbook volatility play right there, didn't you? Volatility coming off the lows. RSI upwards postured. Jewel falls through as well. Very good. Very, very good. I'd be looking for a bit of a pullback, kind of around here, maybe one more move higher towards 450 or so, and then a bit of a short-term pullback. Long-term, I do think that this one will push through. If you're looking at a weekly, this is good, man. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one at around 6.25 over the next, I don't know, month or so. Full hour, just continuation, hidden bullish divergence on that last low. Invalidation, obviously below $3.50. I do feel compelled to say that. But for right now, man, all time frames are looking to trend and a bit of a short-term pullback, I'd say at around 450 to maybe 470 or so. But overall it does look good, which is interesting because this is a reward token. So you'd think that people just sell the shit out of it, but fair enough. What's up, DB Moose? Welcome to the cave, sir. Garrett Gossman says, can you check out Spell on the short and medium term, please? Okay, let's see if one pops. Okay, it's real. That's good. Good sign. Not a whole hell of a lot of history here, though, sir. Let's see. You're looking at short and medium term. I think maybe an hourly is going to be the only time frame that's going to work on something like this. Maybe a 4 hour if we're lucky. Obviously, short-term uptrend. Wouldn't mind higher lows coming in around about 235 or so. See if the 4 hour gets anything a little bit better. Short-term short-term actually is a bit toppy here. I just don't. I need to say this though, man. I really don't feel too confident on these charts. I don't have much history. You know, I can tell you where I'd get short-term like somewhat bearish. That would be easily below about 217. Below there, I'd be looking for, you know, moves back down to 180 or 175. Until that happens, man, I really don't feel too confident on charts like this, man. I want to shoot you straight on those just because, well, it's yeah, I'm not gonna have a good read on these things. Sometimes I just don't have a good read at all. But looking at hourly divergences, yeah, we do have some bearish divergence coming in there. So, you know, probably short-term move down to like 240 or so. Other than that, man, unfortunately, I have to say a healthy amount of I do not know is the proper answer on this. And I understand that that's not very helpful, but I don't think I can say anything more than that. What's up, Matt C? Yo, big boy. Hello, big boy. I am big boy. Theta USD, daily 4 hour and long term. Okay. Oh, he called me Boo. All right. It is I, your Boo. Let's see. Let's get this situated. You're looking at daily and 4 hour. Okay. Daily good. Daily actually about to get the silver across the upside. Record this one. Let me see how many videos we have so far today. This might be a little bit overwhelming. Holy fucking moly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, too many. We'll save this one for tomorrow, maybe. There's a good setup here, though. Daily BBWP expanding off the lows. I mean, basically a 0 percentile read right there. Higher low right here. Momentum also is bullish. Daily Jewel bullish. Short term, probably looking at a move towards $7.50. If you can start to close daily dildos above 7.5, or especially even like 7.75, that would look really, really good for long-term continuation back up to your early September highs at $9.50 to $10 or so. Long-term, this is good. This is very, very good long-term. But kind of similar to a lot of the other charts, it's not relatively strong right now. Although, to be fair, long-term it has had some phenomenal moves here. So again, the difference between something like Bcash and Theta is that this one goes back to 2018, similar to Bcash, but this one's been pretty much only up, whereas the other one not so much. So I look for this. I actually should take back what I just said. This one very likely is looking for a big resolution, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one starts to, you know, take out $9. The upside at long-term is going to very likely retest all-time highs and very likely new all-time highs. I mean, this is good. This is very good. Monthly is consolidation right there. So probably looking for resolution in November if I had to guess. And my voice is wrecked. Fucking wrecked already. What's up, Jack? Sir, could you please do Solana versus Ethereum? Sure. All right, let's see. I haven't even done a Solana chart yet as well, man. Holy fuck. Whoa! That's one hell of a dildo right there. 4-hour and daily. Okay, there's not much of a 4-hour here, so I expect the daily's not gonna be too good as well. There's got to be another chart, maybe Huobi. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is better. Oh, okay, this is much better. This is much better. Short term, a bit of a short term range between about 5 cent, maybe all the way down to about 4.8 cent. But daily's good. Daily's actually quite good here. Daily closure about 5.25. I'm looking for this one to retest. Around your, what is this, 5.8 cent highs. I mean, obviously long term, this is, whenever you see something like this is good, it trends towards the upside, up and to the right, as we like to say, or as Jason Pizzino likes to say. Or Pizzini. Jesus Christ, man, I can't even get his name right. Invalidation very simply put on this one as well, below about 4.6 cent. Looking for another run down all the way to 4.2, actually 4.20 might just say. Until then, long term, I would be biased towards the upside here. And of course, Solana, the underline, is moving right now, last I checked. So maybe we even do a video on Solana here. Oh my God, man. Oh, powerful Solana. Let me just take a sippy sip. Michael Massey says, y'all tripping. We need him to pump Terra. Never heard of it, actually. All right, should we, let's do a video on this one. How about that? All right, here we have Solana versus the dollar symbol SOL, and we have what appears to be the etchings of a weekly confirmed breakout. Absolutely fucking lovely right there. Oh, you gotta fucking love it. Looking at the daily, what do we see right here? Closing on new highs, very, 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 very good. And I would say that this analysis will be long-term invalidated with a daily closure below, what is this, 185. Daily closure below 185, I would be looking for big moves down to the bottom side of the prior range, looking at it like $1.50 to $1.60 or so. Anyways, with that said, we are seeing this breakout is coming along volatility expansion, so that is good. Further helps confirm that breakout on volume right here as well, which is good. Momentum also is on bullish posturings, daily RSI in the bullish control zone. So let's come up with some targets here for the short, medium, and potentially even long term as well. Let's see, something like this. Okay, nice. Actually, we are in no man's land right now, looking for this move to land somewhere between about 225, maybe as much as 240, and then very likely consolidate after that. So that'd probably represent, the next few weeks here, assuming that this breakout is sustained, which, again, below 185, that is negated. We go over here, and then we'll go through the lower term timeframes as well. Let's see, 12-hour stocks actually aren't even up right now. They will freshly cross the upside above 201 later today. Daily is up 204, the magical number, and weekly is freshly up above 145 here. So this is looking really, really good, man. This is actually looking very good. So let's go through the lower term timeframes now and see if there's anything suggesting some caution here. Short term, do we play at the range between about 207 high and 196 low? Potentially, yes. I look at anything between these levels here as more or less long-term bullish. Again, below about 185 on a 4-hour closure. That's where I start to look for this one to correct first, and it's just not going to be short-term, medium-term bullish just yet. Long-term, obviously, it has that nice structure as long as you're above about $1.50. But for right now, short-term timeframes are actually suggesting continuation from here. Hidden bullish evidence on 4-hour RSI, volatility expansion, and 4-hour Joule also given upside posturing signals. So I'd like to see it close on new highs here, that being above about 210. And then, yes, I'd be looking for a next move up, probably somewhere around that 225 or so region intra-week here, and then we'll come back to it after that. But Solana, very good here, and a long-form consolidation as well. The resolution of this long-term could actually be quite impressive, which I suspect it will be. I'll save that for a bullshit clickbait title, but for right now, hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for Solana. Sweet. What's up, Donna? Welcome back. So glad to hear you both. Yeah, it was, Dubai was really mind-blowing. Like, I really didn't know what to expect in Dubai. Like, I just thought, okay, Middle East, and, I grew up in America, and we don't really hear too much about that, and typically the things that we do hear is, like, not great from the media. But man, that city is like a futuristic city, and it's more impressive than any other city I've seen in my life ever. Doesn't matter if it's American or European, whatever. That city is impressive beyond my wildest imagination. I mean, that was just insane. I mean, they fucking spend like $100,000 to $200,000 a day just for this water show, which is actually mind blowing. In fact, I put it on my Instagram earlier this morning. I did all my fucking Instagram posting there. I tried to keep it off YouTube because, YouTube is YouTube and Instagram is, not YouTube. But fucking impressive stuff, man. Really, really impressive stuff. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Anyways, you want to look at ENJ. ENJ, okay. 4 hour daily. All right. See? Engine coin. Is it hot in here? I mean, I'm always hot, but oh, did you turn? Oh, okay, you just turned it on. Okay, nice. At least it's like starting to get colder here. 3 degrees Celsius today. All right, 4 hour daily. Let's see what we got. Okay, 4 hour. I don't see anything too obvious right now. Consolidated at a high level after a short-term breakup, but that doesn't mean too much there. It's a daily that we need to be cognizant of. Okay, the daily makes it a lot more clear. All right, I would say that I am, I suppose, bullish on this thing as long as you are above 173 on a daily closure. I do look for this one to work its way upwards and onwards. Daily Jewel give me the buys for that. Daily RSI a little bit more neutral in this case, but grinding up against the bullish control zone typically a good sign. And volatility is not actually expanding just yet. The moving average on this is still neutral to slightly down, so I don't think it's playable just yet, but I expect that to turn up if this thing does take out 220. Now, long term, this is obviously a good setup here. I mean, you know, the weekly has that higher low that we see pretty much across the board. Very long term, again, in comparison to something like Bcash, this one generally just trades up and to the right, which is good. Very, very good. Going back to 2017, really like that. I'd get very excited about this one above 230, 233 on a weekly, looking for a move towards your prior time and beyond. If you want to go down to the short-term timeframes as you've requested, I suppose we could come up with a bit of a range here. That would be between about 173 to the downside. Even on a 4 hour closure, I'd probably be looking for a short-term move down to about 165, maybe even as much as 155 or so. But long-term, where do I remain bullish on it? No, I'd want to come back to it if it does start to violate that region. Until then, I'm a lot more inclined to say short-term sideways and up here, as long as you remain above that pivot. You do have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders here, so, and you technically have resolved it already as well. I'm not a humongous fan of these formations, but would imply a move towards your weekly resolution. So that's your 230 area right there, which would be the technical target. So again, available as long as you're above 173 on a daily or even a 12 hour. Generally good long term. Just the question is it ready like right now? Volatility says maybe not just yet. Maybe not just yet. Cool. What's up, Shell Wong Kim? Thanks, man. AKT on the daily, sir. Sure, man. Missed you as well, sir. Missed you. I actually met some South Koreans there. There was like this big South Korean trader. Didn't speak too much English, but I was able to speak with him through an interpreter about StarCraft. AKT, probably the worst chart that we've seen today, actually. Let's see on the daily. Yeah, this is the least impressive chart that we've seen today. Now, again, you know, if you're going to be generally somewhat bullish on Bitcoin, again, above 60,000 bucks, can't really be bearish on too many things. And if I had to guess, it's probably going to try to put in a daily low somewhere around about 250 or so. Where do I start to get concerned about this? Let's say below about 242 on a daily closure. I'd look for this one to fall apart. It's just, it's not strong. It's very, very weak here. Very weak. Short-term downside angled as well. Short-term, nothing, in my opinion, at all whatsoever, like good about this thing as long as you're below about 285, 286 or so. You know, maybe you get, I think best case scenario is get some sort of like a BART right here, and then you close back above that region, and then, yeah, you have your reversal. But I mean, right now it's just continuation of trend, and volatility on the 4 hours actually expanding here. So, you know, I mean, definitely one of the worst charts that we've seen today, actually. Again, not saying this about you as a person. You're probably great as a person. In fact, I know you're great as a person, but this is a chart not super interesting here. Very uninteresting, actually. Pretty much all time frames. Looking nasty, man. Yeah, even the hourly below like 270 is problem city. Hopefully that was helpful, man. But yeah, interesting. I wonder what that one does, just because it's so obtuse to the rest of the market right now. Abdullah says Rune daily weekly. Okay, Feb targets. You mean fib targets? Sure, man. All right, Rune. This is the old Thor chain, which I think was on the winners list this morning. Yeah, good. And look at this. So this is kind of like a more mature version of what we see across the board on a lot of these charts. So it would imply that it's a little more on the relatively strong side. It's already kind of popped back above your late August, early September highs, which is good. Testing the prior, like the daily range highs now, which is good. 14 bucks. I would be looking for a pullback here. You know, maybe after one more stab up to 14 bucks, you know, probably grinds out this area a little bit more and then comes back down to like 12 bucks or so. Long term though, is this one a setup for the long term? I suspect so, yes. We can pull some Feb targets for you. Let's see. So this would imply a resolution above about $14. So a daily closure above $14. Then yeah, I'd be looking for essentially, a run towards your prior all-time highs, 19 to $20 or so. And then long term, well, long term, I don't want to talk about these targets because they're a little bit far away if they're even going to happen in general. But if you start to close above $22.5, then we can start to entertain these more aggressive targets long term. But for right now, I actually do think that you probably see a bit of a consolidation around here, which was good. And invalidation on the short and medium term bullishness would be back below about 11.25 in this case, 11.25. What's up, Lime? Good morning to you. Can you please check out DIA? Okay, 1 day and above. All right. So there's an actual daily to look at on this thing. Oh, there is, I guess. Yeah, this one a lot more on the relatively weak side as well, but not as bad as that AKT thing. Let's see. I need to sippy sip this water first. All right. And what time frames here? Daily. Nope. Daily and above. I mean, again, man. We're running with the assumption that Bitcoin just remains as long-term bullishness, but hard to get excited about this thing as long as you're below about 225. Above 225 is where I'd actually start to look for this one to join the rest of the party back up to 390 or probably even $4 plus. Until then, just relatively weak. Even short term on a daily, as long as you're below about 195, 196, very difficult to get excited about. Above 195, I would be looking for this one to retest your early September highs. That's at the point where you can start to see the weekly and whatnot follow through. And to be fair, you do have a slew of higher lows right here, but that also does imply an invalidation and massive bearishness below about 165 or so, especially on a daily closure. That would look very, very bad right there. But for right now, give it the benefit of the doubt, I suppose. Ooh, man. Wow, that one came out of nowhere. What's up, Braymac? Idea on the short. Okay, I've never heard of this one. Idea? Let's see. Is it? Oh, it is. Of course, it's fucking crypto. Short term. So to me, that means like 4 hour and hourly. Good. This one's breaking out right now, actually. On the very short term, I'd be looking for this one to retest around your wick highs from late August, actually. This is good. It's good. Volatility expanding while trend is continuing. We do have an invalidation, of course, as well, below about 18.5 cent. Is that 18? Yeah, that is 18.5 cent. Short term probably does trade back down towards 19.5 or so. I don't know if that's concerning to you or not, but I'd be looking for this one to generally trade sideways and up from there into the low 20 cent regions. 23 to 23.5 or so. Sorry, 23 to 24 or so. And any sort of a daily closure, especially above about 23.5, that's going to look good for the long term. But you did specifically ask about short term. Currently, though, daily is kind of grinding up against resistance. So you are going to look for rejections. It probably does happen here. Again, confirmation on that would be below about 18.25, and well, probably looking at a nice downside move towards 16.5 or 16 even after that, and then we'll come back after that. What's up, Sinegra? Sinegra says, I try to sign up on the recommended exchange. Are you talking about interactive brokers? But it says I need a minimum of 300,000 yearly income. Can you ask if that's correct or if I'm doing something wrong? Yeah, so I'm gonna try to work out a deal for. I'm gonna try to work out a deal that's like more relevant towards people who are not not gonna be in accordance with that. And then also I realized that I think mostly Americans or only Americans can sign up for interactive brokers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I did speak to a few people who are not in American or European, and they could not sign up for interactive brokers. I don't know if that's for everyone, but yeah, I'm gonna work on something else that's better, man, just because I suspect that we can do something better for that. Mac Douglas says CGG Chain Guardians. Just your basic take. Okay, what's up, Mac? CGG Chain Guardians. All right. This one's, I guess I've charted it before. Actually pretty good here. So I did have a range, I guess last I looked at it, which must have been in September. This one's breaking out right now, actually. This is good. I did get the daily closure above that 135 region. I'd be looking for this one to work its way up medium term to about 168, 169. This is good. Holds the lows, rallies off them. Very, very nice. The BBWP expanding above 50 percentile. Good. Daily Jewel up. Daily RSI back in the bullish control zone. Yeah. Short-term, medium-term continuation of 170. Daily closure above there, and I'd target your late August highs actually, and probably just long-term continuation from there, especially if you can start to close above, let's call it, what is this, 220 or so. If you're looking at short-term time frames like a 4 hour, you got a short-term pivot right at 130, easy invalidation short-term right there. This one's good. This one's actually moving right now. Weekly, generally fine as well. Not much of a weekly to analyze, but yeah, overall, a lot of good things going on in this one. Just be aware of the invalidations, because if this one does take out 130 to the downside, I'd be looking for a nice dump-all out to like 117, 118 or so. Until then, good. Very constructive actually. What's up, Mr. Almasari? Quant? Okay, yeah, we can do quant. It is true. Oh, I don't know if Europeans can use interactive brokers or not. He says they can? Yeah. Oh, they can. Oh, cannot. Okay, then yeah, I should probably definitely figure out another deal. Yeah, so what'll probably happen is I'll like team up with another exchange and can do like the old Wild Wild West exchange and figure it out there. Anyways, Quant. Let me sip off the rest of this water right here. Oh man, we're only 1 hour 36 minutes this one, and my voice is already shreked. We're gonna get through it, baby. We're gonna get through it. Quant consolidating over a long period of time. This is good. Like, make no mistake about it. This is very good as long as you're above about 265. But I don't think it's ready just yet. BBWP is not helpful in this because it doesn't have enough history here. Maybe a 4 hour can tell us. 4 hour does say a move incoming, maybe around middle of this week, but that's not gonna help me with the daily range, unfortunately. Here's what I can tell you. I'd get bearish on this one. Daily closure below about 265, bad. Below 265, bad. Looking for moves down to like 220 after that. Obviously to the upside a lot more easy above 345, but that's just not helpful. I mean, you already know that. I suppose, would it be front runnable above about 325? Maybe yes, but there is more risk on that one. The problem is we just don't have enough history here. Oh wait, no. We should have enough history. Hold on, we got KuCoin. KuCoin has the history. That's right. Here we go. I do think that BBWP will be on the ground here for a while, so I don't think this one's moving like just yet, but this does help a lot with the bias here. Again, as long as I see these rising bottoms, I'm going to like it. I like the rising bottoms. Again, invalidation below about 265, but until that happens, sideways over the next like week or so is good for the BULAs. Big resolution above about 340 to 350, and that's where I'd be looking essentially for new all-time highs. Long term, you're probably looking at some more impressive targets, but I just don't think it's getting ready to move like yet. Just kind of playing the range for a while here. Let this level out, and then maybe later this week. I think at earliest, maybe probably more like next week, if it's going to happen. That's where I'd be looking for the actual move outside of the range, because this one's fucking corked up right here. You want breakout targets? I mean, we can do a breakout target here, but it's just, I don't think it's happening like right now. Obviously your prior all-time highs on the breakout above 350. Long term, you're probably looking at 500 plus over like months. That is like not anytime soon, but over months. To the downside, I think we already spoke about that. $200 is kind of where I'd be looking towards if you do start to break below 265. 220 should probably bounce as well. The GoB file says, good morning, Krown. What's up, man? Track USD, daily, weekly, KuCoin. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. USD. Here we go. Origin. All right. The Oregon Trail. I played the old Oregon Trail when I was a kiddo. Okay. Daily, weekly, KuCoin. All right. Daily is a breakout here. Volatility increasing. It is starting to get up there, but I expect on this one you do get around 100 percentile. Weekly, good. Yeah, closing on you. This is breaking out right now, man. On any sort of corrective move down to 75 cents, that's completely fine. As long as you're above 75 cents, especially on a daily closure, I'm just more or less macro bullish on this one, looking for expansion like these next couple weeks towards the upside. In this case, let's pull a more curtailed extension here. Yeah. Probably looking at medium-term continuation around 135 or so, and then plays out a bit of a pullback from there and plays between about like 135 and 110 for a while. And then long-term, you might see some more impressive ones, but do be aware of the invalidation. This one is actually pretty damn good though. Yeah, close on new highs on pretty much all higher time frames. That's very nice. Short term corrected below about 81.5 cent, looking for moves down to 69 cent. Until that happens, though, one's good. So one's moving right now, actually. Me. Uh-oh, we're almost out. Oh, you can open an account if you're European. Okay, gotcha. Sir, can you fill up my water, please? Maybe. How dare you? How derp you, sir? All right, let's see. What's up, winning choice? It's good to be back, man. Anyway, we can have a look at Coty. Yes, we can certainly do that, sir. Remember, Coty and Seller, the two C's, were the interesting ones. Consolidate the high is always going to be a good thing. You know, you do have an invalidation, very obviously. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Good to finish water right here. You do have an invalidation, very obviously below about 44 cent, but until then, man, sideways is very good on this one. You know, it could come. I do think you might have another test down to like 46.5 or 47 cent. That's not anything problematic here, but BBWP on the daily does say you're probably looking at, or say probably, you're very, very likely looking at a move this week. This week, that is. And I would call a resolution to the upside with a daily above about 56.5 cent and a resolution to the downside below about 45 cent, looking for a move down to 32 1/3. On an upside resolution, obviously this one gets a lot more interesting, up to basically, you know, just below $1. I'd be looking for a pullback at around 90 cents, probably a short-term pullback at around 71 cents. Long-term, I mean, this is pretty damn good. I won't talk about like the moon boy targets, but you know, first things first, want to see that breakout. The setup is certainly there. Higher term time frames looking really, really good here. Short term time frames looks to me like another higher low. Hidden bullish evidence coming off this low, so short term probably looking back up towards 52 cents or so. Nice one, man. Let's see. Simply Gain says shooting star candlestick, call it Alec Baldwin. Oh, too soon, man. Too fucking soon. Man, there was like some nasty poetry in that. You fucking bastard. Oh my god, man. Oh my fucking god. Fulton Igus says, can you please do theta? We actually, I have heavy balls and bags. We actually already looked at that, so I think all good there. Hey, what's up, Crystal Lisa? Okay, Harmony 1. What? Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, Alex? Which I see you over there, man. I see you, brother. Good to see you, brother. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I do say. Okay, so you're asking a question. When do you take profits and how much is appropriate? Please elaborate. Also check 1. Okay, well, first let's start off with 1 right here. Then we can record that because that actually might be a good little topic. Harmony 1, this is a breakout. This is fucking good, man. Volatility, trend, momentum, all the way around, man. This one's already at new all-time highs. You've already kind of played out your pullback from the 2618. I'm looking for this one to get up towards 40 cents or so over the next couple weeks here. This is good. It's good, man. Invalidation for a short-term downside move below about 29 cents, looking at 27. Looking for a bounce there. Daily invalidates the whole move below about 26.25, I'd say. Anyways, let's address this question right here. This is a really good one. Let me first get a nice burp up. Ooh. Okay. Here we have a great question by Mr. Chris DeLisa, and he's asking, Krown, when do you take profits and how much is appropriate? All right, so this is always going to be a personalized question, and it needs to be based off of your, well, preferences as a trader. I can tell you my personal one, and I can tell you why that is, but it is very unlikely, or at least it's not to say that this is right for everyone. Everyone has different preferences, and you need to be able to define this for yourself and then backwards engineer what it should be in your own particular plan. Okay, with that in mind, I am, as a preferential trader, more on the short-term timeframes, hourly and 4-hour for the most part. Yes, sometimes I will be looking at higher-term timeframes, but for the most part, that's what I'm looking at. And I do my entries and exits typically in either halves or thirds, more often thirds than halves. And what does that essentially mean? So I take profit, assuming that the position is profitable to begin with, which certainly not all of them are, but I take a third profit almost, I wouldn't say immediately after the position is in profit, but I will define a very specific parameter before taking that trade in order to take the first sort of etching of profit. So that might be based off the PMARP, that might be based off of a divergence call, that might be based off of like a major moving average, for example. Let's say in this example right here, I bought the higher low at at 27 cent. And then I'll basically sell 1/3 the next time it tests the 10 symbol right here. So something very, very simple like that could be. In fact, that would even be too long for me to begin with. Like, let's say I bought the 21 right here. I'd sell the prior high at 27.70 right there, 1/3 always. The next third typically comes at some sort of a technical pivot in my plans. And then every once in a while, if I do think that the trend could turn into a trend, or sorry, if I do think that the trade could turn into a trending trade, meaning that it has more longevity in that direction, I'll hold the rest of a third, you know, if we're at like a major pivot and it actually does exceed that. So that's just personal to myself. That's not to say that that's right for you. You need to be able to define who you are as a trader. And how do you get that? You get it through just simple experience and that you can be adherent to, that works for you long term. For me, I always need to be taking profits, you know, relatively fast, because I can't go to sleep when I'm like in a position. Like, it doesn't work for me. Unless if it's like a very long-term position, I feel very good about it. Other than that though, you need to have the things in your plan first and foremost. So again, backwards engineer, what sort of a trader or investor are you? And then you can start to figure it out from there, and you'll learn that naturally through experience. I can just share with you what I do myself and why I do that. That's as far as I can go though. I'm not saying that what I do is the proper answer for yourself. You need to unfortunately decide that for yourself, or fortunately, because you are your own authority. And you know, we can talk about these things as colleagues, but you should not be copying exactly what I do unless if you literally have all the same preferences in that order. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go, sir. All right, cool. Oh man, I just lost a bunch of them right there. BCat says Karuna, 4 on daily. All right, never heard of this one. Karuna. Okay, Karuna, 4 hour and daily. Yeah, again, another chart that's like not super interesting here, but I do see a slew of higher lows. I would have an invalidation on a 4 hour closure below about 820. Until then, you know, I guess I'd be looking cautiously short term sideways and up. Probably looking at a move towards 917 to 920 or so. Daily closure above there, and I'd target your September, your late September high, somewhere around $10 or so. Other than that, there's just not much history here, man. Let's see. Peter Walk says, loving the Krown app, man. Awesome, man. I'm really, really glad to hear that. We actually have a lot of big things coming for that relatively soon. Gonna be some pretty mind-blowing stuff actually, which I'm really, really proud of. Cup and handle on Ethereum weekly candle bodies playing out. Okay, should we even just record a video on Ethereum? Perhaps we should. I mean, is this cup and handle? Kind of. Could say it's an ascending triangle, whatever it is, man. You know, you got your higher lows, and that is the more important thing when you're talking about these formations. It's always going to be based off a trend in some ways, actually. Anyways, let's record a video on this one. Why not, man? Here we have Ethereum versus the dollar, and we have something very significant right here. We have a new all-time high closing weekly dildo, and that would be coming in from last night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I would say that this one is very likely to continue on with the old macro party here. Now, with that said, it will come with an invalidation condition, meaning that a daily closure below 3,800, this whole rest of it is going to be invalidated, meaning that long term, I'll be looking for a corrective move first, probably somewhere back down to the low 3,000s before anything else. Obviously, it's going to take some time to do that. But if we're looking at the weekly right here, we do have what some people are calling this a cup and handle, ascending triangle, whatever. You have an uptrend, and there's something very important about this. First off, well, you do have a technical target, which is pointed up towards some interesting numbers, 5,800 to be exact. That would be long term over the next few, maybe month or two. We do see that weekly jewel just got a fresh signal to the upside, supported by DMI. Good. We see that weekly BBWP is in single-digit percentiles right now. So when we see a breakout like this with low volatility, I would be looking for the next spike up in volatility to really be indicative that this one's going to continue on for the long term. And when we're talking about long term, we're talking about like months down the road. Now, if we go over here to a daily, even on the daily, BBWP is not expanding just yet. The moving average on this one does stay downside postured. So that would be a good counterpoint to what I'm saying, suggesting a little bit of caution here. Again, I do have my invalidation conditions below about 3,800 on a daily closure specifically. Short term, I'd be looking at a move towards 35, very likely a bounce after that, and then come back to it after that. But here's the thing. We're coming into the monthly closure in less than a week now. Let's just pull up the monthly right here. This is in no way, shape, or form a bearish monthly. Any sort of a monthly closure above 39.50, I'm looking for significantly new all-time highs in the end of year. That 6,000 or so target very likely gets hit, maybe late November, maybe December. If that were to happen, And then keep in mind that the bi-monthly is going to be doing the same thing as, I mean, this is just fucking strong right there. Any sort of a closure, basically here or higher, especially above 3,500. I mean, you kind of have to be bullish. At least I would have to be bullish for significantly new all-time highs coming into end of year. Let's see what benchmarks look like over here, just out of curiosity. Oops, that's the wrong chart. Bad. You'd think I'd learn after doing this for so long. But nope. Weekly Stokes up as long as we're above 3,600. Nice. Daily, or daily will have a fresh cross back up above 4,300 or so. So if we do match that up with the short term right around here, you know, you have a slew of higher lows yet again, hidden bullish evidence off that last low. I'd essentially be looking for a continuation of trend with the 4-hour closure above 4,250 or so. And at that point, looking at probably a retest of your all-time high and general continuation here. This is good. It's very, very good. I'm curious if that matches up with any fib targets. Just double check. Something like this. Okay. Yep, 1414 around that region, 1618 around 6300. Again, these are correlated with the long term. Short term would just be looking at retest of prior all-time highs, and in this case, about 4400, which is still impressive. So fair enough. But overall, sideways above about 3950 on the short term timeframes is very, very good. Below 3950 on a 4-hour, that's at the point where I look for that daily level to come into play. Until then, you know, this is a nice little trend right there, and hopefully that was helpful for Ethereum. Need another one of this. Inspire Growth in Action says, hi, can we have a link to a glossary link or a video simplifying verbiage? I'm actually going to create something very simple on Elio's channel. On this channel, I do have a TA 101 playlist, which will probably address what you're asking about. But yeah, you know, I should probably just ask the community on his channel, like what the fuck they're looking for, because that'd be a good idea. But yeah, you can check out I think that the playlist on this channel is titled like new to technical analysis, start here. That would be a good one to get going with if you're like super, super new. It's extremely basic. And then if not, then I will, I'll just end up creating one. So fair enough. What's up, Gohan's mom? FTM, yeah, 1 hour, 4 hour daily. Okay, all right. Let's see what the old FTM has over here. Phantom, huh? Oh man, yeah, this one's fucking good, isn't it? Oh shit, fuck, it's good. Another good old burp right there. That coffee's treating me well. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily, back in the bullish control zone. Daily volatility expanding on new all-time highs. You got trend volatility momentum yet again. Do I have this one charted out? I do. You're already at the 2618, and you did kind of sell off on it from yesterday, so I suspect that this one is, very likely does push through here. You know, next general target's going to be above $3. You're already at 292, so that's not very helpful. But 3-spot extension is 338. Again, that's not like a big one to me, although I would be looking for a bit of a pullback there. Big ones are more towards $4 long term. That's still probably like a month or two away, but very good chart right here long term. Very fucking good chart. Very, 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 very good chart. So where'd I invalidate this? That's actually a lot more simple. Below 260 on a daily, I would invalidate this. Until then, I am essentially bullish on most things in this market, actually. It sounds like a fucking moon boy today, but man, that weekly is extended as fuck. It really wouldn't take too much, but I expect that you got some new highs before it does pull back again. You asked about a 1 hour and 4. Sorry, I didn't even address that. Hourly, short term can come back down to 280, no problems. Problems below about 270. 4 hour, same thing. Below 270, I'd be looking for a pullback first before anything else. Probably looking at a move towards $2.5. Until then, short term sideways and up is the name of the game here, man. Not really sideways either. I mean, this is just continuation, I guess. Jesus Christ, man. This one feels like a guilty pleasure being bullish on. It's just, can it really be that easy right now? That's usually a bad sign to myself. Really bad sign. What's up, David? I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you, and hopefully you're doing well as well. I think we looked at CRV, maybe. Let's see. Maybe we looked at convex. Yeah, we did look at this one. Yeah, this one's good, man. Expanding off the lows. This is like a more mature chart that we see around the cryptosphere with volatility expanding off of like 0 percentile. And in this case, you know, it's testing around its probably time high. I'd probably be looking for a short-term pullback around there. But don't confuse pullback with reversal. Anywhere down to 375 is fair game. It's completely fine long term. Weekly, would have liked to have seen it close yesterday on new all-time highs. That would make this a lot easier, but probably looking long term at like 5.5 to 560 or so. It's good. Short-term invalidation below 350. Let's see. What's up, Greg Daniels? DYDX, 1 hour and 4. Okay. On the regular comments? I don't see which one you're referring to. No, you need to send it to me. I don't see what you're talking about. DYDX on hourly and 4 hour. Short term, probably looking for a pop back up towards about 1875 or so. Okay. Hourly looks like a bit of a short term reversal right here. Again, short term moves back up to like 1875 to 1890 or fair game. Hard to love the short term downtrend here though. I can tell you where to get excited about this one, back above 20.5 bucks. You do have bullish evidence come off this low, so it could be the reversal that you're looking for, but I'm not inclined to say that looking at the daily, man. Not that there's much of a daily to look at, but I do play this one, or at least I'd be very cautious on this one as long as you're above, especially 19.25, but you want to do it by the book, 20.5 bucks. Until then, short-term upside moves are just lower highs, unfortunately. Even though I do think it will continue here short-term. Let's see. Okay, what did you... Oh my god, there are a million fucking comments. Oh, you're talking about, do you mind that I'm shorting DYDX? Oh, okay, you're on the right side of the trade then, man. Warning at $14 is too greedy. Well, if you're trading a 4 hour, it probably is. I mean, that's pretty far down there. It wouldn't hurt to take a little bit of profits, but I do think that you probably get another run at your current lows on this. What is this, like 17 bucks or so? If you start to take out your 24th of October lows, then yeah, I suppose I'd be looking more towards 16 bucks first. I do think you're going to see another bounce around there. Generally speaking, though, I do think you got a great trade going on. You can probably just move down your stop loss to those areas that we spoke about earlier. Not this is financial advice, but that's kind of what I'll be doing. So that's what I should say. Not to say that it's right for you or wrong for you, but short term, I do think it pops back up here a little bit. So don't give away those profits because you got a phenomenal position, man. Yeah, to put it bluntly, yeah, I do think it's a little bit greedy right there. 14 bucks. Like pretty fucking deep, man, based off of a 4 hour play. Anyways, let's see, where did I leave off? Brad King says, my pet rock strong USD daily weekly when top. Okay. What is this? Wait, strong. Ha. Strong, there we go. Strong okay, strong tether. Pretty good here. When top. When it comes to tops on these sorts of things, yeah, and we actually do have a okay amount of history here. I'd probably go to a 12 hour though. I want to see 12 hour BBWP get like to 95 percentile or more. That's when I start to look for tops. This one is probably going to go into a bit of a sideways consolidation relatively soon, but I wouldn't call it top just yet, man. I would call it top if this thing does close like a 12 hour dildo below 800 bucks. You're clean 100 bucks above that right now, but yeah, man, until I see volatility really get maxed out, I'm probably not looking for that just yet. This one's still, I suppose, good. It's just, man, this thing really is strong, I guess. Yeah, man. More water. There we go. What's up, Mr. D? Stuck in EOS at $10. Oh, dear Lord. How many years have you been in this thing, man? I don't think it's seen $10 in a long time. Wait, maybe it has. Nope. Yes, it did. Hey, it did in May. All right. Look, man, is it going to follow the rest of the market? Very likely, yes. Is it very weak compared to the rest of the market? Fuck yeah, it is, man. This one reminds me of Bcash, actually. Not as bad as Bcash, but still pretty abysmal here. Look, above $6 on a weekly, yeah, you're probably going to see $10 again, but you do have to think kind of opportunity cost on these things. It's going to remove the rest of the market. Just there's many other things that look so much better right now. Daily BBWP on the floor, and this one is about to get a silver across the upside. I would be looking for this one to fall through. It probably is going to fall through. I'd have an invalidation below about 435 on a daily closure, but man, this is just a very unimpressive chart in a market that has many impressive charts right now. That's kind of what I'd say about that. What's up, Mona Lisa? Appreciate that. Thank you. Have you checked Matic on the 4 hour? Yeah. No, I've not. I did yesterday for Elio's channel, but we spoke about like Moonboy long-term targets. 4 hour, Matic, looking good here. Bullish as long as you're above 150, 154.5 immediately. Hidden bullish evidence right here, coming off the lows. I would like to see BBWP expand alongside that, but daily's taking over from here, man, or woman. Probably looking at a move towards 180 to 190 or so. I do like what this one's doing long term. Again, invalidation below about 155 or 154.5, whatever it was. That's easy call right there. If that gets taken out, looking for a move down to 140. Yeah, this one looks like it's ready. Very similar to a couple of the other stronger ones that we've seen. You know, long term just goes straight to the upside. Good. Would like to see a weekly closure above 170 or so, and then long term, I'm looking for this one to retest highs and probably beyond. I mean, again, you know, probably months away, but it's following. It's a little bit more on the relatively strong side, I'd say, based off that. So yeah. Colin hey, Mr. McCann, there he is. What's up, man? Good morning to you. MTV. Okay, this is multivac. Okay, your health conscious cryptocurrency. What time frame are you looking at, sir? Daily's good. Looks like it's actually hinting at a bit of a breakout right here. In fact, I'd even go as far as saying that this one is kind of breaking out right now. I really like this setup. Whenever I see volatility increasing alongside this one, you know, basically taking out prior highs, good setup, man. And this one's actually at new ultimas already, pretty much. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it is. Get rid of this. What time? What are you exactly looking at? Whoopsies. Done goofed right there. See what we got right here. Okay. Yeah, we're at the 1618. So this does appear to be the breakout. Maybe one more. No, you kind of already got it right here. Consolidates down to the 272. A little bit on the weaker side on that, but that's okay. Yeah, I do think this one actually is ready. Probably up north of 3 cents over the next couple months, or the next month here, maybe even the next couple of weeks. I mean, I really like this read down here, man. You have an obvious invalidation basically below about, what is this, 2.1 cent, 2.1 cent. As long as you're above there, man, sideways and up, or mostly just up right here is going to be the name of the game. 4 hours, a little bit short-term toppy, but it doesn't really seem like you're concerned about that. So hopefully that's helpful, man. Let's see. Patham says, hey, bro, what's up, man? Can we do KDA? Yeah, I think we've already done this one, man. And we've actually already done Solana as well. Solana, Ethereum. We'll just briefly go over KDA really quickly. Medium long-term fib targets. Oh, this one actually does have a long-term, I guess. All right, let's see. Get down there. Get right there. Jesus Christ, this thing's already. Hold on, let me. Yeah, here we go. Okay. I mean, if you're talking about very long-term, man. Now, keep in mind, I actually do think you're going to see a short-term high, like pretty much here. I do think this one's going to trade down from where you're at right now, probably down to like $5 maybe. Long term, do I think it continues to $10? Probably yes. I mean, that would be your next sort of set of fib targets between 10 and $12. But short term, I do think that you actually are toppy relatively soon here. Maybe one more try up around what is this, like almost $8 actually. But I do think this one consolidates lower first, if I had to call it. Oh man, need some more of these babies. Oh, there we go. Got another set of life in me right there. What's up, ENM? Hey, brother, can you check out GLCH? Sure. 4 hour, all right. CH, glitch. Okay. 4 hour daily. Whoa, Jesus, motherfucking Christ. Oh, man. Man, some of these altcoins are just going to fucking Rocket City right now. It's already at the 272, or it's actually almost there. I do think you're going to stab around like 120 to 123, and then probably pull back a little bit from there. But this is a very strong chart here. It's not much history, to be fair, but for the history that we do have, very, very good. I'm bullish on this thing, looking for those targets to be met before anything else, as long as it's above about $1. Below $1, I would suspect, I mean, something drastically wrong has happened here, but this is a breakout on volume. This is textbook, actually. Really good, man. Really good. Don't know what the fuck this thing is or what it does, but yeah, probably looking somewhere around like 123. Maybe even makes a quick move up to 130, but I would be looking for short-term highs in that region. You know, generally speaking, it's very good, though. Very, very good. BK says CV. This is, what is this? This is curve or convex. It looks like, hold on. Ah, there we go. Okay, got it. Got it. Good. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, these reward tokens are actually breaking out again. Man, that is kind of crazy. So you're staking and you're getting your rewards, and then your rewards are coming up too. Jesus. Probably looking for another move back around your 19th of October highs, if I had to guess. Invalidation on this one, obviously below about 0.005. Long term, it looks like the breakout's real. Weekly is closing on new highs. I'd probably be looking for this one to extend quite a fair bit. Now, we are charting, two volatile pairs against each other, so I'm always a little bit on edge about that. But, I would be looking for a deeper consolidation somewhere around about 0.075 or 76 or so. Long term, you can kind of entertain those more crazy targets to the upside, but I don't think it's appropriate just yet. I would be looking for consolidation around this region. But, this is obviously good right here. It is accumulation. It's just, long term probably takes its time to play out, of course. What's up, Luke? Good day, ma'am. Oh, I am a ma'am. Eco me. Okay, gotcha. Eco me. Okay. Why no work? Okay, here we go. It's this. And you are looking at a what? Daily, weekly. Probably not much of a weekly to look at on this thing. Yeah, not as interesting of a chart as many of these other things as well. I would actually get bearish on this thing below about 0.058. Looking for moves back down to your prior base of late September at like basically half a cent, if that were to happen. Until then, sideways, I suppose, is best case scenario for this one. Back above your spike high from 23rd of October. I'd be looking for this one to, very likely work its way back up towards 8/10 of a cent. Until then, man, I do think this one has, at best goes sideways here. At best, man. Short term, does it get another pop back up towards like 0.065? Maybe yes, but I don't think that's what you're concerned with. It sounds like. Yeah, probably does give one more bounce try right here, and then pray to Boologis gets back above about 0.7 of a cent or so. That'll look okay. Okay, Jeff says, "Hey, Krown, what's up, man?" Yeah, man, certainly. Could take a look at DYDX? Yeah, we already looked at that one. I think I'm just getting to this one a little bit later, but it's just ever so briefly here. Short term, probably a little bit of extension of this move to like 18.5, maybe 19, but I do have to kind of be medium term bearish on this thing as long as you're below about 20.5 bucks. Above 20.5 bucks, I would call a reversal. Until then, daily's kind of atrocious here. Path of least resistance right now is to the downside, somewhere around about 16 bucks or so, just for what it's worth. And I did a little bit more of an in-depth analysis on it earlier, so you can always scroll back. Crypto Buy says, "Hi, can you take a look at Taraxa?" Symbol, okay. Okay, it's real. What the fuck? If you have time, the team is full of Stanford PhDs, and they have been developing for years. I usually look for my projects to have like D-gens who have dropped out of college. Those are usually the best ones, but fair enough. Just kidding, man. Have not released mainnet yet, and still has less than a 2x from ICO price. Okay. I actually would be looking for a pullback from this current region. Perhaps back down to even like 1.6 or so. But long term, do have to be bullish on it. I guess on the 4 hour, as long as you're above about 1.4 on a 4 hour closure, below their problems. But until then, short term, a bit of sideways here is okay. Other than that, man, this thing obviously does not trade too much. Volatility is just maxed out on the fucking daily. So I'm inclined to say this one consolidates first. If you do start to close daily doldles above about 2 cents, I would look for another leg up somewhere around about 3 cents or so. Until then, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's just, it's kind of a weird looking chart here. Short term, yeah, again, sideways in the game. Short term, very, very short term down to like 1.7 or so. Oh, sweet, man. Okay, that's great to hear. Inspire growth. Yeah, man. So I'm actually gonna be working on that this week. So yeah, let's try to make it work. Let me know like if there's anything specific, but hopefully I can cover all of the like relevant and pertinent things. Oh, Mr. Mackin, what's up, brother? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. There he is, my good old trainer. SRM. Okay, SRM. Come and handle on the deal. Let's see what it's looking like. Looking at a daily right here. Is this a cup and handle? Yeah, it's kind of a sloppy one, I suppose. I don't really like to put names on formations unless if like a gun is really to my head, or unless it's like an ascending or descending triangle, because those ones are typically very good. But I do think you have something here, to put it bluntly. Hidden bullish evidence. Hey, stop that. Hidden bullish evidence on the daily. Daily BBWP has basically flattened out at 0% off for almost a week now. This one I would be more or less bullish on as long as you're above the 200 right here at 650. Doesn't imply you can test back down around there, but you do have a couple of higher lows right there, which is good. I'd be looking for a resolution of the range back above about $9, looking for big moves back up towards your prior highs. And, you know, if I had to call this one right now, do I think it's going to move to the upside? Yeah, I do. I mean, most things in this market are, even if you just take out last week's high, it's going to be a really, really good sign, probably even front runnable. But below 650, I would be looking for deeper corrections down to $5 or so. Until then, you know, I like the setup here. Just the question is when, as the daily suggests, probably resolution this week, actually. Probably resolution this week. 4 hour, put another higher low right there. Good. Hidden bullish evidence come off that low. Also good. Short term, bit of sideways here is okay. You know, it's okay. Probably works its way back up towards $8, but I'd get very excited about this one above $9. That's the big one. And long term, you know, what sort of ridiculous targets are we looking at on this thing? On a break back above $11, I would be looking for a big move up to about 16. Very likely a pullback there and consolidates between about there and $13. And then long term, well, you can entertain those targets if you so desire, but I will hold off on them for now. They're just not relevant just yet. Monthly, long term, very good. This probably takes its time a little bit here. P Hunt stock. Okay. Right here. Okay, this thingy. You're looking at a momentum swing play, might be gap up at open. If that's the case, I won't be able to see it right here. Obviously, TradingView is not going to have it, and I guess that's something like, oh, you got earnings, of course. Yeah, in this case, man, these are cases where I actually don't think that technical analysis is too useful. What I could say, if your assumption is correct, so we're making an assumption right here that your assumption is correct, that it gaps up. I'd be looking at big areas right around here at around, what is this? Between about 49 and this high right here at about 68. That's where I'd be looking for on a bit of a, on a bit of a high. Obviously to the downside, a lot more clean. You know, if it pops back down to 335, I'm looking for bounces there. But other than that, man, I do not think that technical analysis is very useful. If this is going to be like an earnings play or something. So I'll just leave it at that. I know that's not too helpful, but I can't help you there, man. I think we got everything now. Holy fucking moly, man. I think that we got everything. I do apologize. I do see that some people, okay. I'll just do one really quickly, but fellas, I do have to make a concerted effort to stop these streams within 2 hours. Yeah, we did FTM, so I think we're good on that. But I do have to make a hard rule with that, and I know that that's annoying for people who donated afterwards, but it does have to be very hard and dry like that, unfortunately. Looking at AMP right here, sloppy as fuck, actually. See, you okaying about over there, sir? Sir, we did ADA, and please stop spamming. Yeah, gotta send you to a holiday if you're gonna do that, man. You wouldn't talk like that in real life because it's weird. You know, try to treat the community as like actual people, and that'd be good. Anyways, resolution above about 5.3 cent, and I'm looking for moves back up to your early September highs, like 6.25 or so. A bit of a more sloppy chart though. If I was just looking at this one on its own, I'd actually be bearish. We do have hidden bearish divergence right here. We do see that volatility is on the ground, and momentum offsets are turning down. So, you know, if this thing does pop back down below about 4.5 cent, I would say that is going to be a nasty drop off, leading towards continuation towards about 3.5 cent perhaps over time, with a short term stop at like 3.9 or about 3.9 or so. Other than that, though, man, until that level gets played out, I mean, at best, I think this one goes sideways and back above, again, about 5.3. That would look really good for a return back to your early September highs. Look really good long term as well. But I think my voice is sufficiently wrecked after all this. It's been a really fun day getting back into the swing of things. I will maybe do a shorts video on Bitcoin later if it's relevant. We'll see. But for right now, you know, Bitcoin just continuing to go sideways right here, which is good for the BULAs. However, remember, below $60,000, or at least that's what I'll be looking towards, below $60,000 on a 4-hour closure, especially on CME, I'm looking for this one to correct. If that were to happen, first target would be down to about 58 to 58.5, very likely about, or sorry, no. About $58,000, maybe between there and about 57.5, very likely a bounce there, and then probably does have continuation towards 55, although I'd want to see it in real time before talking about that. Until then, Short-term sideways is good for the blue laws here, and many alts looking really, really good. So hopefully that was helpful. I'll be back on tomorrow doing the same thing, same time, same place. Again, massive thank you for joining in. It's been a really, really fun time. Elsa is waving in the background because she doesn't hate you today. And there's that laugh yet again. All right, fellas. Signing off now. Take care, and hopefully see you very soon.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, then debug